Hey, 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 it's Fat. How are you? How are you all?
Great. So glad to be back.
We missed you so much. Well, let me not speak for everyone. I missed you so, so much. Um,
We were
Don't
um we were falling apart without you, Kay.
Oh.
you missed, you missed the feminine energy.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I always got to bring the ultra feminine energy to
And
wherever
period.
I go.
How have you been? How are you? How are you?
you know, I had something very important to do, but now I'm back.
Yeah.
I've been doing well. I'm excited to be back. So yeah, I yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm happy to have you back. Let me go to Petty. Petty, how are you?
I'm just glad to have Kay back. I understand it was very difficult flying to space to stop that asteroid in time to save the Earth. I really appreciate that. Not a lot of people go to that length to for black men and women in the community. I don't know if you did it for other communities. I assume you did it for this one, and they just happened to reign in the favor as well. But I appreciate that. Also, I'm
Thank
homeless.
you.
Mm,
I never
Petty.
believe anything you say. What are you talking about?
Betty, your background looks different again this week again. What is up with you?
Doesn't it look different every week?
Yeah, it's giving scam. It's giving DJ envy.
Well, the police, some fine gentlemen came to the last place that I was staying, so I left and came to this one, and that's all I have to talk about with that.
Period. Wait,
That's
is
what
my
that was.
mic good?
It sounds fine to
Hopefully,
me.
my mic sounds good. We have so much to do, so I feel like we should just jump right into it. Um, Betty, they say you look like a child.
Which
Y-
facial hair did you have? Like, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm you did look different, but I thought it was just your hair.
Yeah,
You
it was my hair.
What did you used to have? Like a You didn't have a beard. What did you have? A mustache? No.
I just had a poof, like a big poof on my
No,
head.
I'm talking about like you didn't have facial hair, did you?
I've been shaving for as long as I remember.
Wait, why did somebody say you shaved? Like it was surprising. I thought you always had. I don't know.
They mistake me on me and Dr. Umar look alike if you put that back on the screen. And they mistake me for him. But I've never, for as long as I can remember, I've just never had facial hair like that.
Ngazi said you had whiskers.
Mm.
Did you have something? I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah,
I
in here
guess
you
you'll have to go back and rewatch IDGAB to catch me on those and hit the like button.
You have to go back and watch IDGAB, and we'll see. All right. Before we get to Ebony K. Williams, Dr. Umar had some things, and I wanted us to watch it. I'm going to pause it a lot, and I want us to discuss. I needed you here. I needed you both here for this. I was actually going to make a video on this, but I decided I don't want to make no videos. So here we are.
Default, specifically black women will have to marry out of the race. And I just want to tell you why, right? Based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure it starts off kind of even and around 18. It starts to decline and around 30. It gets out of hand where we're at, say, 7 to 10, 6 to 10. But when you factor in unemployable, unemployed, homosexuals, people who stay at home, we could argue it's probably 4 to 10. So with those type of numbers,
Plus incarcerate.
plus incarceration. So with those type of numbers, don't you think it's reality for women eventually to look to other races for men, even if you don't condone it? But it just seems like a realistic approach because there's just not enough men. And I want to go against I know you're going to mention polygamy, right? But the only reason with polygamy, due to the income of a lot of black men, I don't know if there'll be enough black men making enough to take care of numerous women, unless you redefine polygamy where the women are taking care of the men. And so weird way, but I want to wish you.
Good question. So, do black women have to consider dating outside the race since there's not enough men available for them, and the ones who are available want a woman outside of the race?
All right. Before we continue, first, that was not the question. I'm glad he added the men want other races of women because that's definitely not what the interviewer asked. But I've already watched this, and the first part is that the men, we cannot consider polygyny because the men cannot afford it, right? So we remove that from the table, and the fact that there aren't enough men for available for black women means that even if ever black men decide I'm going to date or marry a black woman, there would still be millions of black women unpartnered. So the question is now, what should these women do? Do you guys have a response generally, or do you want to hear the rest first?
I want to hear the rest first.
I also want to hear the rest.
I would still be against it. I would say that the black woman can go north to Canada and get her a black man. She can go south to Central America. More than enough black men down there. More than enough black men in South America. More than enough black men in the Caribbean. I think she has to broaden her horizons, but I don't think she has to go outside of her race. And honestly speaking, I think it would be to her advantage to do so. And the reason I say that is because in America, we have had the economic emasculation of the black man, where women have been put in charge of the leadership of the community. And it has been this way for at least 50 years. We have created a culture where it's okay for black men to not be masculine, to not be leaders. So if the black woman is looking for that traditional black masculinity, she will definitely find that in Africa, where black men were subject to that white emasculation system. She will find him in South America. She will find him in the Caribbean, because these are communities where black men are raised and taught how to live off the land, how to build a house with your bare hands, how to be a provider for your family. They very much still have that original killer instinct, not killer in terms of killing somebody's life, but that do or die for my family mentality that a lot of us in the States don't have. So I think not only should the black woman look outside of the geographic borders of the United States for a husband, I think it'd be to her liking to do it. I know sisters who have married African men, some of whom never thought they would look at them. They were not attracted. And they said, when I gave myself a chance, I actually liked him more than the brothers because he was so much willing to be everything I wanted in a man. I'm not downplaying the brothers in the States, because we do have alphas and we do have brothers who still imbue that black masculine spirit. But if we're going to be honest, it's probably lower here than other places because of that emasculation process that we went to, along with all the other issues that the white power structure has introduced into the community. Now, for me, polygyny has to be considered. It doesn't have to be wholesale for everyone, and it doesn't have to last eternally. I can see a situation where some men can have more than one woman, and that this plural relationship system that we go to in the black community will only last as long as it is needed. Once you have a situation where the brothers are back on their feet and doing what they need to do, stop killing each other, stop being killed, stop going to prison because we have jobs and an economy for them, then maybe you can give it on up. I don't see it as perpetual. I see it as something that should be for the moment, as we need it, which can be the next 20, 40 years. You follow me? But I don't think it has to be perpetual. But here's the issue. We already have polygyny. Very few men, whether they in Africa, whether they here, whether they black, white, or yellow, but of course we're talking about ourselves. There's very few men who don't have more than one woman. You follow me? Monogamy is a myth. It doesn't exist anyway. The problem is most men are not being honest with their women, letting them know you're not my only one. So it keeps this idea, this Cinderella idea in the black woman's mind that I can have a man all to myself. Now, in theory, that's good, but you have to look at your circumstances. I'm not saying a woman should want to share her man. I would never want to share my wife. But when you look at the community and what is in the best interest of black people, when you look at all these children without fathers, when you look at these women who are on the lower end of the social economic ladder with 7 or 8 kids that they can barely raise, how do you not consider putting an able-bodied married man in that house to stabilize that system and provide nurture for those children? If we care about the future of black children, if we truly care about the future of black children, how do we not address the fact that 70% of them are being raised by single mothers?
But I think in the future, by default,
Mushmouth foolishness. Just mushmouth foolishness. Um, Before I give my take, I'm just going to say that when he said he's not downplaying the men in America, he's lying. He definitely said, I'm not downplaying the men in America, and then goes on to downplay the men in America. But there's a bigger conversation to be had. So we'll start wherever you all want to start. Prince Petty or K, anyone jump in, because I was taking notes and I'm annoyed.
Notes. I should have taken notes. There are so many things. So basically he's saying like become a passport cis.
Yeah, period.
I don't think that this plan that he laid out is I don't think it's reasonable. Like, oh, go to another country. I don't think that makes sense. I think people should just, date and marry who they want to date and marry. If they find someone that they like and love and want to be with forever and they want to go through marriage regardless of their race, go ahead and do that. Yeah. And then the whole thing that he was just saying about like we need to did he say put a man in the household
to stabilize the household?
Like with just okay. I think I need more clarity on what he was talking about in that situation. But like from the way I understood it, I was just like, there are other ways to stabilize. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, families and all that, all the family structure stuff is very important. But I think we can have like a better village and, kind of address those situations as well. I don't think it necessarily has to be people just putting random people in houses to like take care of these situations.
How are you going to stabilize and nurture when you start off with the premise that men aren't doing well economically? Like if you listen to what is being said, ultimately it boils down, if we get to the root of what is being said, it is the community needs you women to accept what is happening and continue to contribute in order for it to survive. And even though all of this is against you, you don't have the right to self-actualize. You don't have the right to go out and fulfill your own life without thinking about the implication that will have on the community through Dr. Umar's lens. So even animals can be monogamous. Why can't you? Right? That monogamy is a myth. Maya is like ridiculous to me. Go ahead.
Why is it always like on the women to do something? Like, why can't there be a plan to make, so that more men are, suitable candidates or whatever for marriage, instead of just saying like, oh yeah, they're all going to be doing this, and this. So you might as well go to, a different country and find someone, because the ones here, like, that doesn't even seem like the right way to look at this to me.
Yeah, because I completely agree with what you're just saying. And the excuse is going to be the emasculation of the black man. That's what's going to happen, because that's what he said. His
But then
excuse
who would be the men that come into the homes to stabilize
it. Exactly. That's why it doesn't make sense. They start with the premise that the men aren't doing well economically, there's not enough of them, and that they have been emasculated. Who are the men you're going to put in these homes to stabilize it after you've already decided that these men...
You guys are missing a critical step. Yes, most black men are emasculated, but there are some diamonds in the rough, he said, and he won't downplay them, and the women should share those men at the top. And they should be stepfathers to the 7 children from each woman in one household to stabilize it.
You want to know something? That would have been a more logical argument, except it's not what they're saying. You want to know how I know it's not? Because he wants to create polygyny until the black man is on his feet. What he's not saying overtly is that y'all, women who are doing well, will be adopting a black man to take care of. That is how I interpret the latter, because it does not make sense. From if the guy said, most men cannot afford to live in a polygynous relationship in America because they can't afford it. And his retort to that is that women are doing well economically, or some of them are poor. The whole stabilizing bit doesn't make sense here, but that y'all should be a bunch of women with a one man until men get on their feet.
I
It's
don't know. Yeah, no. I don't think that's Black women's like job to do. Again, like if that seems like a very extreme plan. Like there are many more steps before that could happen to make the situation better. Like I think that's jumping to a very nonsense. Like that doesn't even make sense.
better for who? Better for who?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there's a lot of ways to make it better, but the question is, who is it going to be better for? Because they're not trying to make it better for Black women, because to make it better for Black women is to figure out.
No man should have to go.
Wait, I have to do it because. Wait, I have to do this. I'm so sorry. I just a little. Umar has part of it right, but throw the whole argument away. Girl, if you were here, Orange Pill and I had a whole thing, Curry Up and Edith pointing out about part or majority. He said, get your passport and trial for your mango. Period. Umar want Black women to engage in poorly selfish. That's what I get. But this is what Umar is saying essentially. This right here is what Dr. Umar is saying. Don't go anywhere.
No man should have to go through this. No man should have to endure the pain. Men are taken out their home every day. Innocent men just like this one. 60% divorce rate took men out of their homes. College admission gender bias took this man out of his home. The gender pay gap took this man out of his home. These men are facing homelessness right now. But with your support and just 50 cents a day, we can save them. Please go online or call this number and join the Save a King Fund for Humanity for only $15 a month. For just 50 cents a day, you'll deliver emergency relief, passport, and life-saving support to these men who could be homeless without it. Don't wait. Pick up the phone now.
At first, I was like, wait, this can't be real. And then it wasn't real. Okay.
Now you thought it was real.
I was like, who? This can't be serious. And then it wasn't serious. So I was like, all right. Okay.
That was the wrong one, by the way. I should have played the Kang with the K-A-N-G, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, Petty, you were saying, go ahead. Sorry. We shouldn't have cut you off.
I just want to point out, I have a small, under 30-second clip because Dr. Umar said you can go to Africa where the men were taught to build houses, and it was reminiscent of this to me. So I wanted to share this with you all. If it will load, I would like to share it with you all.
You know, I hate this thing that people have like these preconceived notions about people from other places. Like you can tell when people just haven't met a lot of people. And I'm not saying Dr. Umar hasn't. I don't know who he's met, but just in general, they have these ideas about people from other countries. They can build a house. What? Most people on earth probably cannot build a house just from scratch. Like I don't.
Conversation is laced with lies and contradictions because the first lie is that you can find other men in different countries who weren't touched by white supremacy. What?
Oh my goodness. Literally, what? Don't even get me started. The colonization of Africa. Like, what? How
he thought we got here? Like, like I'm so confused. All right, let's go through some of it.
Are you sure?
Go ahead, play it.
Because I wanted to hear about these men in Africa.
When I have a child, I'm gonna take them to Africa. You know what I'm saying? I want to take them to the motherland and let them see that, hey, we're blessed over here. They're staying in woods and trees.
Oh, it was short. Yeah, so they're over there in woods and trees and building huts and like
I
Dr.
think he thought that was a compliment. Wait, what did you think he thought that was? Was he saying, I'm going to show them how bad other people live? Like, is that what he's categorizing the entire continent as?
And then I hate when people say Africans. Like, there's not one whole African culture. Like, there are so many different cultures. Like, when people talk about this, it just gives, I don't know.
Ignorance. It gives ignorance. It gives xenophobia. And the idea that you think everyone in Africa is living in woods and trees.
Or even living the same at all. It's like they watch. See, and this is what white supremacy does. It like gives you this spoon-fed idea of what people in Africa, the entire continent, are all doing the same thing, apparently, according to like people who are. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, Dr. Umar, he at least he splits it up a little bit with Dr. Umar has the revolving credit card method. So black women in the US will go to Canada, and then the Canadian black women, I guess when they have a shortage, they'll go to Jamaica, and then Jamaican black women will go to Sudan. I don't know what that method was that he was speaking about, but it doesn't sound like
that reminds me of those. Remember, like, I don't know if this was 2020 when people were doing those money loom things and like somebody had to bring somebody in and then like the person in the middle got something. Like that thing that you just described of like, okay, when they get their thing, then they'll go to the next. Like what?
Oh, if you okay, you
wait, 1 second. The last party. When you say, let's be honest, most of Africa still first of all, I'm going to need to know the country that you're talking.
We cannot talk about Africa like it's one country. Yeah. It's a continent. Do people know that?
Anyway, so Dr. Umar starts with the emasculation of black men and that somehow black women were put in charge of the black community, I'm assuming by the white power structure. And then Africa, black men was not subject to white dominance in Africa. I don't know where he got that from, and that Africans are providers. What this tells me is that the opposite is true, in his mind at least, for people in the United States. So it's saying the black men in America aren't providers. That's what he is saying to me. Because if you want a real man, essentially go to Africa, they are providers. What does that say about the men in America?
Yeah. So basically, is it like a purposeful or accidental sneak diss?
This is pure ignorance. I don't like going after people in the chat, but this is pure. To say most people are in the rural areas, like fine, but to say literally every single one except South Africa ignores like a ton of places in Africa. And I'm not going to talk about this. I feel like people should definitely go look some of this up because I think we've had a colonized mindset and a very colonized lens through which we look at Africa. But we'll move on.
And you know what? Like, I think people look at things in a way that is like, I don't know, idealized just based on what we know, like certain people know here. So they think like somewhere else is doing something totally different. But the thing is, like, women in a lot of other countries, you know, on different continents, do a lot of hard work and have been forever. This whole like women sit home and don't do anything is a very Eurocentric thing because they didn't think that women were important and they didn't want them to have power and all this. So like that whole mindset of thinking that like men from other countries also share in that same mindset, I think it's a little off for a lot of places. Now, some maybe, but I don't think that's what a lot of people think. Like, oh, the woman's just going to stay home and not do anything and, you know, go find one of those men. Like, I don't think that's the case for a lot of people from a lot of places. That's just an idealized view that I think some people have about, you know, other countries. And I'm not saying it's what other countries are doing or other cultures are doing is good or bad. I'm just saying I think that people have the wrong idea when it comes to what other people are doing.
So hopefully people aren't listening to Dr. Umar and accepting him that you shouldn't date whoever you want. But the polygyny thing. So there are a couple layers. The first one is whether or not you should engage in it. The second one is that monogamy is not real and that most men already are in this kind of polygynous relationship with multiple women, i.e., cheating. Um, and then the idea about putting a man in to stabilize the home. I don't agree that you need to put a man in a home to stabilize it. I think you need to figure out what the home is, what the home is missing, and what kind of man you're putting in there. And I don't agree generally with Dr. Umar around his idea of polygyny because it seems to suggest, from the way I understand, that the women will be taking care of the men. And it will be what I consider a pimp type relationship, which I'm very opposed to. But it's not pimping women out in the SP way, but you go to work and you come home and you give me your money, essentially. And I think that is just as bad. Patty, I think you were talking.
Give me the money to do what with it? Stabilize
the
money.
to love and care for the children.
Got it. To love and care for the children. 7 each, he said, by each woman.
Do you think monogamy is a myth?
No, I don't. I listened to him when he said we all cheat from time to time, and I don't know why people just say we all and then say the craziest thing and think everybody in the room just
Sir, you cheat.
we all do it. No. Anyway, well, I don't trust Dr. Umar with any woman in his vicinity, and they shouldn't either. But yeah, nothing about his prescription seems right to me. He details how the men are killing each other, killing the women, children, going to jail. And the solution to this is to put men in the home to stabilize it. The poor men who are also rich, so the women should share them instead of, I don't know. But
what is this stabilization? What does this look like? What is that?
Is it weird how it's female centric, even though it's a male centric problem, right? The men are killing each other. Women share the men. Go to Africa and find men. Men, just stay where you are and find 3 or 4 women and share. I don't understand.
Share them until when?
Until
there was an end time.
Then he get on and he leave. I don't know what Kanye said.
No, Dr. Umar literally said, share them until the African American men gets on their feet.
Oh.
That's the end. So to solve the men problem, women need to sacrifice. If you want a man, you should cheer him because you need to do it for the community. But also, you're already doing it, so it shouldn't be that bad. The reason you don't know it's not that bad is because the man keeps lying to you. So you have that fairy tale idea in your mind that you can have a man to yourself, is what he said. He did say 40 to 60 years, but he said...
That's like that sounds like fear mongering. Like, you're not going to be able to do this, so make sure you do this. You're going to die alone, so make sure you do this. It's like, I don't know.
Did you see when he snuck in? Oh, if my wife was cheating on me or sleeping around with a bunch of people, I wouldn't like that at all. But you guys need to endure. Like, he snuck something like that in there.
Yeah.
And then he snuck in this is what benefits the community. And I feel like maybe that would work if everyone were working from a mindset of this is what benefits the community, including myself and the people around me. But I don't feel like everyone is working from that perspective. So if you're the only gender working from that perspective in the community, I feel like that's probably not good if the other is taking and give nothing.
The guy didn't even say men are dating out or want to date out. Dr. Umar, sua sponte, brought that up. The interviewer said nothing about men dating out. Dr. Umar said it. So he understands the reality in which Black women live. But he is saying you need to endure because you need to save the community. And I'm going to tell him absolutely not. I'm not giving advice, but IDGAB. Well, absolutely not.
I hope he's also advising the men to go out there and be stepfathers. It sounds like that's also a part of his plan. I haven't heard him preach that to them yet, but I'm waiting on it. So
But see, this creates the same quote unquote problem that like I think a lot of people with that mindset are trying to fight against. Like if you want to be seen as the leader, you want to be seen as the, you know, head of the community or the household or whatever the case. You can't be like, well, women, can y'all put us in that position real quick? And then like we won't see you as the leaders, but we'll be the de facto leader. Like it doesn't make sense because it won't get you the result that you're looking for. Like women, I mean, I don't think a lot of women would necessarily view someone that they had to save as a leader. I don't know. I mean, maybe some would, but it just seems like if you're asking women
submissive provider,
like how can you ask women to do that and then also want them to see you the way? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Lady, step outside, pick a king, now nurse him to his greatness, then give him the bus fare needed to get to his preference, then end. Period. That's all I heard. I heard that they want submissive provider and they want to be seen as leaders and not actually be leaders. I think to be a leader, you have to know what it means. And if you don't know what it means and you don't know how to engage in it, then you're not a leader. You just want to be seen as such. In Africa, if Africa was not affected by white supremacy, I wonder where he thinks the British Museum, girl.
They stole it from the American blacks.
Meanwhile, look at China. Look at what China is doing over in that. Again, thank you. His plan doesn't make sense. He's saying it as if people live forever, stabilize, and then go back to them. How you bring a dead man into the home? Look, in the vein of you need to get a man, let's get to Ebony K. Williams. So Ebony Williams came back and she's clarifying some things. And I disagree with almost everyone who is like, I didn't realize I would disagree with like a bunch of women online about this. And again, this is IDGAB, so do with it what you will. So Ebony K. Williams came out and said women who go to school who wants to get married should seek a husband while they're seeking their degree. This advice I find absolutely ridiculous because I don't think most women in school are ignoring men they like and would want to build families with if these men are approaching them, right? In fact, one would have to concede that the women who are talking about this, who are getting in relationships, usually don't have great outcomes the younger they are getting married, right? Because most women and men don't know who they are when they are young. That's the whole point. You need to mature some, right? And then she goes into this conversation about your biological clock and then your value going down, and it's giving very much manosphere for a moment. But I was watching everything with her to see if there will be good pushback. I watched the Breakfast Club conversation. The lady on the Breakfast Club, I don't know who she is. She was not prepared. She said she wasn't listening. She tuned her Ebony out because of Ebony's tone. So I'm not about to sit here and listen to that conversation. However, Dr. Martin, who has a podcast, invited Ebony on and they were having a conversation. We're going to jump through a lot, and I want us to kind of react to this conversation that they're having. So we'll start at the 2-minute mark because I'm not about to watch this entire thing.
And clarification in terms of going to school and pursuing not only your regular degree, but your MRS degree as well.
Absolutely. So what I realized after posting the original commentary video, the sidebar on the griot, is that this advice, if you will, that I'm framing to tell Black women to go to get the MRS degree alongside your bachelor's, JD, PhD, fill in the blank degree, it is more germane for Black women of higher income socioeconomic strata. Why? Because if you are already coming from a place of Black elite status or generations of Black financial stability and even elitism, you're not going to have the concerns of well, I'm only 26. How am I going to provide for this baby? Because you have a financial safety net by virtue of either your parents or the parents of the gentleman you are having the baby. So there's not that financial crisis or threat, versus when you are like myself and a lot of us that are Black women that find ourselves in professional spaces today, we are first generation. We kind of, as the kids say, got it from the mud. And so just because we come out of school with that JD 2-3 years later, we're not necessarily financially stable. It takes us years, in many cases, 10, 15, 20 plus years to get to a truly financially secure enough place to be able to provide comfortably for a child. So I felt like I wanted to clarify that this advice I'm kind of suggesting for younger Black women is much easier to digest and execute when you're coming from a Black elite position in the first place, versus those of us who are either first generation or for whatever reason are coming from more financially unstable backgrounds.
That makes no sense. That literally, that whole conversation makes no sense, because what she did, and we'll talk about this, I don't like when people, this is one of the worst characters I think one can have. And I'm not talking about Ebony K. Williams, by the way. I'm just talking generally. The inability to say I was wrong is annoying to me. Like, you sitting up there meandering through your own logic to come to some kind of conclusion that makes sense doesn't make sense. You said if you're a Black woman in school, there is not enough Black men in school. So if you are there, you should try to get the man in school while you're also getting your degree. Take no consideration at all about what the men want, or if these men are actually proposing to you, or should you propose to them. How do you chase a man in school enough to make him propose to you? Are you saying Black women are so focused on school that they don't care about getting in relationships when they are in universities?
And you know, like, to the point that you're making right now, I think a lot of women date men in college and want those men to marry them, end up being with them for years and years and years, and then never get married. The man doesn't want to, whatever the case may be, he doesn't ask or whatever. Like, that happens all the time. I'm not saying I have like statistics on it, but I do think that a lot of women are looking for husbands while they're in college or whatever. And it's just not happening. So like, what is she saying that the woman should do?
No, anecdotally, she also dates and married while she was in her 20s, and it did not work out for her. So anecdotally, she understands that there are women like herself who got the career and the man, and it didn't work out. Now, here's where it becomes a problem. She's not going to explain that. She's not about to try to tell you how to have a good relationship. She's just telling you how to get married. First of all, you didn't tell anyone how to get married. You just told them that they need to be seeking marriage while they're looking for their degrees. That's what you did. You didn't tell them how to get the man to propose to them and what the kind of man they should be marrying. You said none of that, right? So we'll put that out of the way. Then you're going to say, oh, I'm not trying to tell you the marriage is going to be good. I don't know. I'm just telling you how to get to the marriage. That is irresponsible.
Is the average 18 to 22-year-old person in general, let alone man, trying to get married or even thinking about that at that point? Like, I don't know. I think that's like, I don't know. I think she's not necessarily addressing like a lot of the other variables that would go into this.
Doesn't this like embody the thoughts on marriage in the community though? Isn't there a premium on marriage, even if, like, who cares about the quality, just the fact that you're married?
Exactly. Orange Pill said the same thing. And not only does it reaffirm this idea that marriage itself, you need marriage itself, and we're not going to contemplate what that marriage look like. You just need marriage, and that's enough. You can be married to a person who is a felon in prison, and you will be saying, my husband, my husband, my husband, because it gives you some kind of social currency. That is a problem. Now, underscore that with the reality that these men are not trying to get married in undergrad. Like, what are you talking about?
Isn't that some research we read in from Ralph Richard Banks that showed that when they are seeking, I think it was about Black women specifically, right? And they are seeking relationships, but because number one, there are so few Black men in college, like she said, right? The men tend to share the women, be less committal, etc. So it feels like she's almost contradicting the research, right? Because the research says if you focus on dating, or at least if you focus on dating in your race, at this time in your life, at this specific social setting, you probably are going to get cheated on. You're probably not going to be committed to or married to. So it feels like she's almost contradicting the research in my mind.
Yes, when there is a gender imbalance and it favors the man, where there is one man to what she said, 7 women, they're going to run amok. They don't have to choose because they have too much to choose from. That is what happens. And for you to ignore that is ridiculous. And the third point that I wanted to make about her statement is it is a lie. There is a new trope about Black women not wanting to be in relationships, and that is not true. It is not true. Part of me wishes it were true, but it is not true. Black women aren't just holding their head down in books and not dating when they're in college. There is a lot of issues around Black women only wanting to date Black men, and there are not being enough Black men in the universities, and the Black men who are in the universities aren't looking to date Black women. There is a problem there, and to ignore that social reality, for me, is disingenuous.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking at all the other confounding, like all the other variables that could be there.
Yeah.
It's almost making it seem like as long as the women want to get married, the men will marry them. And that's just not the case, because I think the way that people are socialized, a lot of women do want to get married. They would love to meet a man in college and have this, after they graduate, they're getting married and then starting a family. I think a lot of women would love that, women of any race, but I don't think that's how it works, because there's a lot more that goes into it than just the woman wanting that. And the way she said it, it makes it seem like she thinks the women don't want that or aren't looking for that, when I think a lot of them are.
What people don't want to talk about is the self-hatred of the people Black women have to choose from. And I feel like that's the more important conversation. And I shouldn't give this anecdote, but things have happened where, let me leave it alone. I'm not going to put that anecdote out there, but I think there's a lot of self-hatred, and as soon as men get access to different kinds of women, they rush into it. Black women have decided that they will stay loyal to Black men regardless, and will only praise and date and marry Black men. And when they get to universities and Black men aren't there, and the few that are there are only chasing after different kinds of women for social status within organizations on campus, I think we're just lying, and we need to admit the truth about some of our realities. But I'm going to skip, and then let's get to her explaining what she's proposing.
Build yourself up financially to where you're not dependent or even interdependent on anyone else, because we know that oftentimes in this world, money is power, no matter who has it. My mother wanted me to be solely and exclusively empowered of my own destiny. And then at some point, she started asking me about grandkids. And I had to say, hold on now, Gloria, because when in this narrative was there a discussion around that aspect of family planning? And we do that in jest now. So this is not about blaming beautifully intentioned Black mothers to raise their daughters to get their education. It is about bringing complex dynamics to that conversation.
Okay, so I'm going to skip my next clarification point because I feel like my next point is going to take longer. Because what you're saying, in my opinion, and this is the dissonance that came up for me in reading your book and hearing the messaging, what you're saying is antithetical, in my opinion, to what you're sharing in terms of what Black girls should be doing. Now, in stating that, one of my question was, you stated that, like, on the Acting Up podcast, you mentioned that you cannot speak to how to be successfully married because, and I quote, I have never stayed married, any of that. Like, you mentioned your previous partner relationship, your previous marriage was a starter marriage, you got rid of that. You stated that you're in a relationship, I believe, for 4 years, and felt that wasn't appropriate for you either.
Yeah, marriage is not for me. Let me just say that very plainly. Marriage is not for Ebony K. Williams. But I know it's something that many Black women do desire.
So it's something that many Black women desire. But you said what you can speak to is best practices and strategies to get to the marriage destination if that is your priority. You can't talk about motherhood and balance because you haven't experienced that yet, because I know you shared that you're also about to go through the journey of your embryo transfer. So congratulations. and when you're providing context. But my automatic question is, do you think that that's a responsible statement to make, saying that I cannot speak to what it's like to maintain a marriage? However, I can speak to what you need to get there. Because like as a licensed clinical psychologist, as a mental health professional, that is not an appropriate dynamic, right? I can't tell you how to make it going to thrive, as it were, but I can tell you how to get to that contract. Do you feel as though that's a responsible statement for someone of such a huge platform to make when you're trying to provide some aspect of, this is your advice. I'm not going to tell you how to make it work. I'm just going to tell you how to make it.
Very much so. And let me tell you why. I think it's very responsible, because I can't assume the conversations that you have amongst the Black women social circle, girlfriends in your life, Raquel, but I can tell you about mine. And I've asked friends, sorority sisters, Black women that I'm in close sisterhood with, and not so close sisterhood with, just Black women that I'm in conversation with. Flat out question. If and these are unmarried, never married Black women who have no children. And I say, if there was a scenario and God descended from heaven and he said, I'm gonna walk you down an aisle, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have your day, your big white dress, your ring, you're gonna be somebody's wife, you're gonna have some children, and then I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, yeah, you're gonna be divorced. Yeah, you're gonna get divorced. And you're gonna have split custody, and you're gonna have child support, and this, and girl, you might even be paying the child support because of your income. Would you still elect the option? And the answer I repeatedly hear, Raquel, is yes. Yes.
That is a problem. That is
Yeah.
if the group of women that you're friends with are saying, if I could go back in time, I would get married to get divorced and also be paying child support. So you only wanted the marriage to say you like.
Is this the lady that was talking about bus drivers?
Yes.
Oh, wait. You know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything about her. I don't watch her content. Is she a content creator or she does something else?
She is a lawyer. She's on the griot. She's like really big, apparently, in media now. And she was on Real Housewife, I think.
Okay, so sometimes when I'm just in a lot of different spaces in our corner of YouTube, you know what I mean? Like there are people who are giving advice about things. And it's like, why are you giving this advice? And she just explained, you know, the reason why she's giving it. But honestly, like, I don't either. Like, there is an audience that is looking for advice about certain things desperately. And I think not desperate, like in a bad way, but like really seeking.
No, can I take the word desperate and like actually get into it? If you are the friend that Ebony talked to, that is pure desperation, that you would want to be in a marriage you know is going to fail, and you're willing to pay child support to have a child because you want what? What exactly do you want? The marriage is going to fail. You're going to be a single mother, but you're also going to be paying child support. That's the scenario she gave. And they said, yes, I still would want to be married so that I can pay. That don't make no sense. Sorry. Go ahead. That's desperation to me.
If she doesn't want to be married, why? Because there are lots of women who don't want to be married, who want to, you know, pursue their careers and do the things that she did. Why wouldn't she try to reach those women? Like, why are you
Black women want to flex on other Black women and say I've been married? Because that don't make no sense.
But why would if you don't want to be married and you're not married, why is that the thing you're choosing to like promote? Why not promote like your, you know, how you got really educated and made your money and you were able to do these things? Like, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. That would be like me being like, I don't want to be a surgeon, and I'm not one, but I'm the one that y'all should come to about how to do, like, what? It doesn't make sense.
And the idea that people just want to get married, even if it doesn't work, because they just want to know what it's like I can sympathize with that, but you don't accept like the lowest thought process through like desperate ideas and promote that as a thing a group of people should be doing. This is coming from a place of scarcity and desperation. And if you're promoting this, you have to make sure that it is right for the people you're communicating it to. And this is kind of paternalistic. But the woman who says, I want a marriage even though it's going to fail and I don't mind paying child support because why? actually, to that woman, actually, I'm not making a judgment. I do want to ask why. What is so special in your mind about being married if at the end of the day you're going to lose out more? Like you're going to be giving more. You're literally signing up. I'm not saying this is true for all marriage. I'm saying what she posited to her friend. They're like, I would, in a heartbeat, go back in time, get married, knowing it would fail, and that I would have to pay. I would have to pay child support.
Is
Like
it because they wanted to have a child
in marriage? I'm assuming they want to flex and say.
If you know it's gonna end up, I don't know.
I mean, there are people who believe that you can't be a single mother if you got married.
I'm confused.
They could be looking for
that idea. This is coming up in a video. That idea that you can't be a single mother if you get married is toxic, and it's toxic because it highlights something very fundamental about people and their psychology. It highlights that they don't care about them kids. They don't care about the fact that there's resources needed. They don't care about the research regarding how children are affected by divorce. What they care about is the social currency that comes with marriage. Because if you're in a marriage and you have to take care of the man and the child, it probably is best that you were a single mother. But they don't want to talk about that because it's to flex. Marriage apparently is just to flex.
So is it because I didn't understand it first, but with the way you just explained it, is it that people would rather say, you know, I had these kids with my ex-husband versus I had these kids any other type of way?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Come on. I mean, if things happen,
Sinji was saying it, and I was like, I don't think so. But like, the more I listen to people explain marriage, the more I agree with her that this is like a flex culture. Like, it is not about the marriage. It's not about the relationship. It's not about caring. I think for a lot of people, not everyone, but for a lot of people, it is about flexing. It is about like, I got the ring. I got the ring. Like, I think that's what it is. More and more I'm listening, that's what I hear.
Even if, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I think a lot of people get married just to get married and say they were married or whatever. And I think that's why divorce rates are so high, because a lot of people just want it to be married, you know, by any means or whatever. And yeah, I don't think that that's a goal you should have. Like, oh, well, I'm probably going to get divorced, but I think I want to do, like, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. Like, that's very strange to me.
It could be for the experience. I know men who love unprotected SECKS, and they know that STD and unplanned pregnancy and 18 years of raising a child, or more likely child support, exists, but they still want to do and experience that thing. Regardless of the fact that that one little experience will lead to literally, in their mind, 18 years of torture, they still don't have the discipline to not do it because they want that experience so bad. So it could be a similar type of lust for marriage, maybe, or one of you said desperation.
I believe if you just see marriage as a milestone and you're like, I don't care if it ends, blah, 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 I just want the experience, you probably shouldn't be getting married.
I agree, Thamas.
Well, you probably shouldn't be having unprotected sex, and that's what I would say. But it sounds like Ebony would say, well, you know, that's not for me, but I'm gonna teach you exactly what you need to get to that point, and what happens after, you know, that's up to you guys, because I can't talk to everybody, so I don't know.
This encourages further poverty and struggle in our community. College graduates have a lot of debt and little income. In this economy, graduates should get financial stability before marrying. More debt. Like, I don't even care when you get married, but it's supposed to be sort of like the idea that women just don't want to get married and they should try harder to get married is like kind of ridiculous to me. Like,
especially considering the whole thing about how so many women want to get married. Like, so many women dream of that day since they're kids, like since they were young girls. Like, this is, I don't know, like the way that marriage is viewed in our society. I I know a lot less people are wanting to get married nowadays, but still, I think a lot of people want to.
Most women
Yeah.
probably
So, like,
want to get married.
to frame it like women don't want to is. But again, like when I was saying, like people are desperately seeking, certain advice, I was just saying that there's like a market for these types of like life coaching. And I'm not saying this is what they're doing, but like people who have the answers to the questions that they have, and that can be monetized, and you can grow a following doing that. So I think a lot of people, not her necessarily, because I don't know her content, but a lot of people are capitalizing on the fact that other people are looking to be married or looking to get rich or looking to do whatever. And they're like, I can say that I'm the one with the answers. And then you have all these people watching your podcast. So I think that's how it goes. But
talking about this is for the elites. They're not listening to you. The Jack and Jill Club members are not listening to you, Ebony K. Williams, about whether or not they should be seeking marriage in undergrad. Most people already setting up their kids. Thanks, Maya. Their kids to get married. Will she and Ian will come together to share their femininity origin story to share Black women now that they both agree about the bus driver convo. The thing is, this is the part that I don't get because all these Black men are coming like, yeah, Ebony, you are still excluded. Let's be clear, you were not included. You still would have to go to university to have the kind of access that she's talking about. You are still not included in the group of men she's telling these women to pick from. So at least there's a higher academic standard there, but you're not included. I don't know why you're celebrating over in the manosphere. If you don't got a degree, you weren't included. Like, I don't know why you were celebrating.
And can we just say that I coined femininity origin story? Remember, Themis?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people just want to hear what they want to hear, regardless of if it makes sense, regardless of if they're included in the group. Like, it's just like when people are talking about like quote unquote high value men or whatever, like men that don't fit the standards that were laid out by KS or whoever are like really would still be like yeah about these ideologies, but it's like you're not in the group that he was even talking about.
Yeah, I have gotten so sort of paranoid now. Like, I don't even think I'm a good person anymore. Like, no, because like the people will do the most toxic things, like what you're saying, not high value, but like I'm a good man. And when I hear the people who claim to be good men, I'm like, you do know you are not. Like, there is no definition of being a good person. Forget man. There is no definition of being a good person that would include you. And the fact that you think you are a good person is a problem for me. Like, even the men on panels, I will hear them talk and be toxic. And they're like, people look past me and I'm the good guy. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. So, like, I think a lot of men delude themselves. A lot of people delude themselves into thinking they fit into these good categories, these high value categories. They don't.
Social media has created an environment where people can live vicariously through other people who they have nothing in common with. Like, it'll be like Mark Cuban did blah blah blah, and people be like, yeah. It's like, no, that's a Mark Cuban type of situation. Like, y'all aren't in the same category in terms of opportunities, in terms of crowds you're around. Like, it's just,
men were online saying that women go do them like Johnny Depp, and I'm sitting there like, sir, you're broke.
Get together and like identify with these people who, I don't know if it's like a form of like a parasocial relationship, or I don't know what it is, but I just have a feeling that there will be there will be many studies about this in the next 30 years. Like, people are identifying with people who they don't have anything in common with. And it's like, it's fueling this hatred towards the opposite sex. Like, it's just a whole thing. I don't know. It's interesting.
The wheels on the bus go around and round. Thank you, Wake Up Makeup Slay. Society has been grooming young girls to seek marriage as an end goal forever. If you don't get married, you are viewed as flawed and a failure. Yeah, this is like like the idea that this is new. I do want the feminist voice to get louder around this. You don't need marriage. Leave these men alone. Don't let these people tell you. That's the vibe I want to get, because I'm tired of hearing people like, "Oh, you need to get married. You need." No one cares. The marriage is dusty. Like, I'm at the point now. It's so bad. No, it's so bad. Like, now people are like, and I need to get out of it, because it is a celebratory moment when someone say, "Oh, I'm engaged," or "I'm gonna get married." Like, in my mind, I don't react anymore. I'm gonna start pretending to like be happy, because I'm like, okay, hopefully it's through a good person. But I know people are excited about it, so I need to invest. It's the same way when someone is like, "Oh, I'm married." I'm like, I don't know what your marriage is like. I don't know how many times you go to the clinic. I don't know what's happening. And no, like, I saw some studies come out about STD on the rise with like married women, and they did a study where I forgot which content creator was doing this, where at the beginning, both people were like STD free, and after a certain period of time, they were having STDs. How? How? Uh, I need to know what kind of marriage you have before I start praising you. I will praise your marriage. I will be the first to praise your marriage. But I first need to know what kind of marriage it is. You're not just going to slip past by saying I'm married. I'm not doing that. No.
So like, do you think that the fact that we view those types of things as celebratory, like by default, is a problem?
Yeah, it is a problem. Like, because that it even though we know logically that the kind matters, we don't know it on an emotional level, right? Because we hear it so much. So you can say my husband, my husband, my husband, and if you're getting praise and feedback from my husband without understanding what that husband brings to the dusty table, then it becomes a problem, because now everyone is thinking, "Oh, all I need to have is a husband." And the kind of husband becomes sort of a distant sort of review, right? Like, it's not something you really care about. Like, you do, but like, you want to have a husband. Because ain't no way you're going to marry Derek Jackson after what he put you through if the kind of man you're going to marry matters, right? You're doing it for a look.
Okay, so in theory, like, it should be that by default, oh, you're getting married, we're happy, because you should be getting into a good marriage. But since we know that that's often not the case, right, for some people, then it should be under more
Scrutiny.
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna scrutinize. If you're coming to me to tell me about your marriage, then you gonna tell me about your marriage. I'm gonna have to make a decision as to whether or not this is a marriage that needs to be praised or for me to ignore. Because I'm not about to praise you if you're like, "Yeah, we've been together for 5 years and he cheated for 4." Like, all right, girl, period. Strong, right or die. Like, what am I to do with that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're like, "I feel safe with him, I feel heard. He and I communicate well. We take trips together. He is there for me. I'm there." Like, if it's like a convivial atmosphere, then period, girl. I'll be the first one singing you praise. But if you're not telling me what your marriage is and you're just telling me you got married, I don't know what to do with it.
It's just neutral response, neutral until you find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're married. Good for you, I hope.
Be well.
I had a friend who was engaged to a toxic man. She told me she was ready to marry him, knowing she would leave him one day. She wants to be a wife. That is toxic to me. I think that is extremely toxic.
Wait, what? She already thought, like, the man that I'm marrying, she already thought she was going to leave him? Like,
yeah,
wow.
like, what is that? I believe Netflix has an underground lab of light skin actresses they release upon the world every year. Ebony comes from the marriage-oriented underground lab. They gonna convince you to get married, girl. That is it. Hey, Sin, I didn't know you were here. Thank you. Everyone give Sin the warmest welcome. By the way, let me pause and say, for everyone messaging me, telling me, "Oh, don't tell Sin, why are you always pointing Sin out when she's in the chat?" If you've ever gone to her channel, when I go on there, she gives me the loveliest welcome. And Second of all, please don't tell me who I need to be welcoming and not welcoming. Like it is a like people are so annoying. Like I don't care what you think. That is like that is the premise for all of this is I don't care what you think. I adore this woman. So welcome Sin. Everyone give Sin the warmest welcome. After drag.
Yeah.
Anyway, women sound silly being desperate for marriage that doesn't benefit them, makes them unhappy, and shortens their lifespan, right?
Yeah. That makes sense. And I think a lot of people, like especially this younger generation, like Gen Z, I think a lot of them feel that way. Like I think a lot, and it's not even I think, like marriage rates are declining. Less people want to be married. And honestly, I think that's why this whole like you're gonna die alone like narrative is coming out, because I think a lot of people are seeing that even women are like, wait a minute, no. So it's like this ploy to get people to be like, oh no, if I don't, then I have to.
And the funny thing is, like, I was watching a TikTok where this woman was come in and the husband was like, why are you always upset? Why can't you smile? And she was like, maybe I'm upset because I woke up last night. I gave that to you. You know what I'm talking about. This morning, I got the kids ready, sent them to school, went to work, make breakfast, made dinner. And she was just listing things. And she was like, all you did was play games. So excuse me if I'm upset. And people are in the comments like, he's a good man, like he didn't do anything. Why are you upset? You should be better, more great. What should she be grateful for? Being a slave? Well, not a slave. All right. But being like a maid that doesn't get paid? Oh, Prince Betty, I'm so sorry. You've been just sitting silently. Go ahead. You can definitely interrupt whenever you want.
Nothing to add except I do share the feeling of seeing people married on my timeline and not being like, I had to talk to my therapist because there's a sound going around on TikTok and it's like, in my man, thank you to my man. And whenever it comes up in my feed, I'm just like, I don't know, it sours my mood out to see people in relationships. Like nothing bad has to be happening necessarily. It's just hearing the sound is like, I don't like this. So that's all I'll add.
The gang is back together. We are, and happy to be.
Yay.
Go ahead, Kay. You were saying something.
I think marriage is beautiful. I think that happy relationships are great. I will always be happy for someone that is, happy and doing what they want to do when they're getting married. Like, I don't think that people should just want these things just to say they have them. That goes for marriage, kids, whatever, because these are all like supposed to be lifelong commitments that you have to put a lot into. So just looking at it kind of like something fleeting, or like you said, your friend was talking about, she knows she's going to get divorced or whatever the case. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. If you don't want to get married, you don't have to get married. If you don't think you're marriage material, or you don't think your marriage is going to last, like, why go into it? Like, the point is to want it to last and be functional.
Yeah. The thing, it feels like a lot of the emotional and actually physical labor in relationship tends to fall on the women's lap. And I've noticed that ever since I was a child, right? And one of the great things that I've experienced is my mom, and I don't want to talk about my thing, but like, I've seen good relationships where people are investing in each other and you can tell that they care about each other and they are building something together. And so seeing that and seeing support for the woman getting her education and the man building his business and watching them build watching people build like a small empire and be happy, I actually think that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to sit there and have the woman work and you do nothing, that's a problem. Like, I don't like when there is not emotional safety. I don't like this idea that you need to submit to me because I am man, hear me roar, and you can't even read at a third grade level. Like, I have such a disgust and I'm revolted by the ideas around manhood and what women need to do in response to having a man and to have a man, it's just like really toxic to me. Like it almost feels like you are not human, like you are not fully there. You're there only in service to someone else. And that for me feels ridiculous. Like not just wrong, but like ridiculous. That's it.
Many moons ago in undergrad, I took like a social psychology class, and one of the things they were talking about that like the key indicator of if a relationship is going to last and be happy or whatever, not necessarily happy all the time, but content, happy, whatever, is if like the other person's happiness makes you happy. So like you want to do things that benefit them because it also makes you feel good. So like I think that is the goal, right? Like you want to be in a situation where you want to do things for your partner and they want to do things for you. And y'all are both kind of like living in a symbiotic type of way where you're both benefiting each other and making each other happy and whatever. And it becomes a problem when it becomes very imbalanced and like one person is doing everything and the other person is now becoming resentful. So I have no problem with people like doing things, like women doing like the traditional quote unquote things, right? But you have to also be getting the things that you want. Like it has to go both ways.
Yeah, I've now going back to older folks who are married that I know, not my friends obviously, but aunts and uncles, whatever, older cousins or whatever. I've now started this thing they now know where I'm like, oh, when so and so cheated, how did you take that? They never told me they cheated. It has not failed where they're either taken aback or they thought they told me and they start explaining what they did. And the fact that that hasn't failed is a problem. The fact that y'all husbands having girlfriends and boyfriends out in these streets is a problem that y'all need to deal with.
Yeah,
Broke man saying he doesn't want to get married because a woman is just trying to get his money. Look, it's called delusion.
Living vicariously through rich people. If you're not rich.
When I was young, I was so witty. My friend's parent told me to go to school and get a job. No man would tolerate my attitude. Best advice ever. Period. I can. Not Lotto's. Not a married man is Lotto's boyfriend. I want a generous sugar daddy and grateful power. Look, I'm gonna get me a parasite too. It's fine. Will Ebony soon make her acting debut in Tyler Perry movie where light-skinned blue-collar workers saves her from the rich, evil, dark-skinned bald man?
So does it seem like Ebony is switching up? Like I don't know, but like from some of the comments,
I think she just said some things. Honestly.
Okay, so people aren't like, oh, why are you saying this now? You didn't think that way before.
Yeah, no, people are saying that. They are. But I don't think she fully thought through. I think she's going through her own motherhood journey. Right now, she's choosing to be a single mother by choice, right? And she is going through that process. And I think it is affecting her. And she keeps saying, I don't care about marriage. I don't want marriage, whatever. It's not for me. And I'm not going to be here to speak on her behalf or for her, but I do think it might be affecting her negatively. But you don't get to then project onto the world, because I would hope that a lot of no, you know what? Actually, let me not say that. I think for a lot of people, the grass is always greener. I think a lot of people think, oh, my life would feel fulfilled if I was married and had children. Meanwhile, a person who is married with children is like, I would have probably had more freedom if I didn't have this ungrateful child and this husband cheating on me, right? So I think the grass is generally always greener. And until I find the marriage where the man is not cheating, I'm just gonna go ahead and say he's cheating. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's not true.
If you're looking for something like marriage or kids to fill a void, I think that is a sign that you're not ready for marriage or kids.
Exactly. Agreed. Fully agreed. No objection. Nothing else. Yeah. Mom told me that if a man wants to take off a woman's garment, he must be the one buying them, paying for her lifestyle, and giving her a. Y'all toxic. Thank you, the architect. Happily divorced after 17 years of sleep. Oh. Let's continue.
There are women who feel like they would like the opportunity to try it, to get in a position of marriage. And, you know, you heard Courtney and I going back and forth about this on the Acting Up podcast. She made, I don't know if they made the edit, but she asked the question, well, who in the hell would want to be married if not for being mothers? Because there are also Black women who just want to be wives. They're not as excited or interested in the motherhood part of the journey. They want to be married. They want to be wives. And I think that it's time for us to acknowledge the reality that in this nation and almost globally, right, there is still social currency that comes with being someone's wife. It is. And while it might not be for me, Raquel, I don't even know your marital status. It's not really that relevant.
She's not very observant because she definitely has her ring on. She does.
The conversation, in my opinion, whether it's for me or you, the fact is there are Black women that do want that, that do desire it. Now, if it doesn't work out in the end, many of them would be devastated. Divorce is very hard. I can speak to that as well. But there are many of them that said, I would like the opportunity to get there, try it, experience it, and then make a decision as to whether I want to stay in that marriage or move forward. And they're very upset, brokenhearted, and devastated that they haven't even had that opportunity.
You said you don't know if I'm married.
No, ma'am, I don't. I know you're a mother.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, I mean, like, I knew you ain't look up nothing about me. Yeah, I'm married.
Okay, that's right. I knew you were a mother because that was in your bio. I didn't see wife, so I didn't know.
Mom is in my bio?
Yeah, I mean, not your, I'm talking about on social media.
Oh, I'm about to say, what? Okay.
Yeah. It said moms, you know, psychologists, those things.
Yes, I am married.
Okay, and congratulations.
Cool. You know, we're kicking it. You know, I like them.
Yeah, and I don't think marriage is some antidote. You know, I've been very transparent about that too. But it's sad to me, Raquel, when I see women that deeply, deeply, deeply desire it and feel that they didn't have enough information on the front end of their journey into womanhood to make decisions that would have put them in best position. Would those marriages have worked? Were they too young? All of that, totally fair conversation and fair points of critique. But they feel a way that they don't feel like anyone told them early in their process that these were going to be best positions to pursue that aspect of your identity.
What?
Is that's the best position, right? And I think
I'm so confused. Didn't she just say she doesn't want to be married? That's not her thing. So why is she so invested in this for other women? Like, I don't get it. I mean, I'm not saying, I just don't get it.
For my clarification, I want you to pinpoint, because this will help me to understand which part of this doctor who is married with children speaking to this other person who is divorced without children, who gives advice to people who want to be married. Their advice seeming to contradict each other. The married woman saying, maybe we shouldn't, the married woman and mental health specialist saying, maybe we shouldn't advise people to marry who shouldn't be. And the woman who's been divorced says marriage is not for her, giving women the advice to just marry anyone. Which part of this confused you specifically? Because there were a couple parts for me. So I wanted to see if we were on one accord, because I'm also confused.
Who do you listen to?
I don't know. To Dr. Raquel Martin. If I had to listen to somebody, I would probably listen to her. But I truly am so confused about this angle that that Ebony has. I'm not saying it's a bad angle. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I would never be this invested. I mean, and I'm not saying she has to do what I would do or think what I would think, but like, it makes no sense to me. Does she want, she doesn't want to be married, but she wants to make sure people who do want to be married have the information they need to have. What?
Well, she's not giving you the information because she has never told you how you're going to get these men to marry you. She just tell you, if you want to get married, you should seek marriage. I'm sure if you want to get married, you're going to seek it.
There is so much like advice in terms of how to be a wife and all this type of stuff. But it's actually really simple. Like, the thing you need to do is be yourself. Because if you're anybody else, or you do anything else that's not you in order to attract a mate, it's not going to last long. There's only so long you can do something that's not you. So your best bet is, whatever you do, be yourself. If you don't cook, don't cook. If you love to cook, cook. So that you can find somebody who likes those things, and so that you can have a happy, healthy relationship where the person actually knows who you are. All this other stuff, like seek them and do this. If you're not looking for a marriage and you don't want one, don't look for one. Wait until that's what you want to do. If you're 80 years old, wait till you're 80. Like, you have to do the thing that works for you, or else you're going to attract people that you don't want. Like, I always say that lying gets you what you don't want. Always. If you lie about anything, you're going to get the thing that you don't want, because you're building up something on false pretenses. And that goes for relationships or not. Like, you're going to attract things you don't want with being dishonest or trying to attract those things if that's not who you actually are. So, like, all this advice, honestly, no. If you're a woman that hates cooking and cleaning, you need to find a man that doesn't care about that. And don't even find him. Like, let him find you. It'll happen. If, I don't know. I just think that people put, I don't know. I feel like a lot of this advice is setting people up for failure. But who am I? I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm dating now, so I have questions that I need y'all to help me with. Ebony says, try it and see how it is. Like, marriage is just a new sushi restaurant and not a serious life decision with big impact if it doesn't work out.
Right? Like, it's a huge deal. Like, I don't know. Let me stop.
Try it on. It's the new Gucci shoe, and then take it off.
I think we see it differently in terms of, you mentioned, I'm here to provide.
Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Marriage patriarchy is the curse of Eve, period. No, I'm dating myself. I take myself on dates. It's very nice. I go to hotels on weekends. I go to spa. My mom, whatever. I'm gonna leave it alone.
The facts to get to that destination.
Yes.
But as someone who works with individuals at like multiple levels, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I have my own practice. So I'm dealing with this on an interpersonal level. I am a professor at Tennessee State University. So not only am I training the future clinicians of the world, but I have a specific platform with the students who are the age range that you're speaking to. And I've been teaching, yes. I mean, this is my third university teaching. I also taught at another HBCU, Fisk University, also taught while I was taking my PhD. Additionally, doing science and research on it. And your thought process of getting to the place is providing some aspect of them reaching that goal. I feel as though that's an irresponsible place to put someone in, where you're not thinking about the integral aspects of maintaining a healthy relationship. Because I feel as though, in your mindset and what you've been sharing, and with full transparency, your goal is to bet on Black, right? Like, you want to put Black people in a position to be able to achieve wealth and status and to get what they want to get, right? Like,
that last part is really it, to get what they want to get.
What they want to get, because you've mentioned multiple times, like, I'm not saying everybody should be married. I told you multiple times, marriage is not for me, okay? Right. I'm not saying you need to be married to have children. I'm telling you multiple times, I'm going through this embryo transfer, but I want you to know this stuff is expensive. That's why I mentioned the aspect of fertility. I'm not telling you, I'm just saying for individuals who want to be married. Sure. What I'm stating is this aspect of the thought process of individuals who want to be married and stating that they would have wanted all of the information. I'm saying I find it irresponsible to think that just stating I can tell you how to get there is not providing them with all of the information like you feel as though you're indicating, right? Because I see you as this is a way of supporting the Black community. No one talked to me about it. You said I got the same exact messaging. Go to school, do everything you need to do. Hell or high water. You said mom was the hell and the high water. I totally feel that.
Yep.
And you feel as though that, like, that was the messaging you were given. However, when you said you talk to your sorors and when you talk to colleagues and stuff like that, they're saying that they would have wanted that messaging. I'm saying the messaging that you're given is still not the full messaging, because yes,
that's fine. That's fine, Raquel. I'm not going to push back on that. I'm only one person. Yeah, I can't give everybody everything. Let me be clear. I'm speaking to a very narrowly tailored point to the probability. Let's be clear. We serve a God of miracles. So anything is possible by way of marriage at 35, 45, 65, or 85. Shit, the Golden Bachelor is on right now. People still looking for love and marriage in their 70s. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love it. I really, that's not hyperbole or sarcasm. Yeah. We serve a God of miracles. It is always possible. I am simply speaking to the numerical probability of most Black women that I know who want and desire to be married to Black men, which is another nuance of the conversation, right? Lots of people in the conversation are saying, well, we should stop limiting ourselves to Black men. That's fine. That's fine. I have firsthand experience with that as well. We can talk about that another day. But what I'm saying is most Black women that I know prefer Black men. So I'm not in the business of trying to talk Black women into wanting other than what they really want. Okay, right? I gave the example of the Birkin bag. It was kind of, cheeky.
That is a dodge. You don't, how do you know what they really want? Outside of, if you are saying you want it, then fine. But if someone is saying, oh, I want to get my education and then I get married, how do you know that they want to get married while they're getting the education? So you can flip it then, but someone said, so she's annoying.
I don't know why you are trying to press this woman after she just said she can't be all things to all people. She said she's talking to the high value women only. Her advice is for high value women only, not for everybody.
Yeah,
specific type of woman. So I feel like we shouldn't press her.
We are not going to finish all of this because we have other things to do. But she goes around and talk about how, well, let me leave that alone. Dating yourself is wonderful. I started doing that years ago. I'm currently self-partner. I'm the best partner I've ever had. Yeah, because I'm going to start dating at some point, and I need to set the standard really, really.
Look, the aromantic community is taking over. Aromantic, asexual community is coming in, and they're coming hard.
Period. Ebony says, try it and see how it is like. Marriage is just the new sushi. Oh, I just read that. Thank you, Maya. Right? You desire show? Oh, I read that too. Thank you. Oh my God. Someone described what Ebony is doing as equivalent to when Black men carry water for white supremacy. Let's be real.
The missus was a plow white women use and used. Also, I can't agree that 21-year-olds aren't thinking of marriage. You see it in other communities.
Not the ASMR giggle theme.
Now, did you read this comment down there?
Theme is, there's a comment in that video that said Ebony leads a horse to poison water because, well, you said you were thirsty.
Period.
Ebony, I want an educated Black man. I'm not going to talk you into dating a white man. I'm not going to talk you into dating a blue-collar Black man. I'm not going to talk you into being bisexual and dating women and being... I want to help advise you the best way I know how, as to put yourself in proximity to a high concentration of educated Black heterosexual men that are potential partners for you. That's it.
And it doesn't matter if you are going to be happy in this marriage. It doesn't matter if you guys are going to be partners in this marriage, as it were. It doesn't matter if what I'm stating is going to get you into the proximity of the marriage is going to lead to the divorce. You're saying, I'm just telling you, this is how you get to the part of being married, not sustaining a marriage, not being happy in that marriage, not having a healthy marriage, just enacting this contract.
Because that is what I have been asked to advise to.
That is irresponsible.
Who asked?
That is irresponsible. She's doubling down. Go ahead.
Who asked that? Who asked for that?
I just feel like if my friend comes to me and he's like, where can I find some meth? I'm going to be like, hey, man, is everything okay? I don't feel like that's the appropriate way to go. I don't think that's a good route to go down. I don't think you're about that life. I don't feel like I'm going to be like, well, I can get you to the destination, and what happens after that, I can't control what people do outside of my advice. So I don't know.
I just wondered, so was somebody like, I know you don't want to be married and I know you're not married, but can you just do this for the people and let us know what we need to do? Like, is that how it? I'm just so confused.
This is not even rigorous scrutiny. And she's falling apart. And that's the problem. Like, what are you talking about? Your ideas don't make no sense. This lady, Dr. Martin, is like dragging her without even trying. Like, what do you mean you don't care about the marriage? You don't care. You just... So someone who asked you, your friend asked you, like you said, Petty, about this, and you decided to come inform the world. Like, what do you mean?
And she keeps saying that too. I'm just speaking to a specific type of friend that I know anecdotally, but this is like a message that you're putting online for all people.
Yeah, like, girl,
then why not just tell that friend? Like if my friend asked me a question, like, you know, how do I do this or that? I'll just tell them, oh, this is how you do it. I wouldn't be like, hey, y'all, I got to let y'all know because everyone is asking me, how do you do? Like,
yeah, and even if you do that, which is fine, don't, when you get pushback, say, oh, someone asked. No, you made it public. Now get the scrutiny. Like, what do you mean?
Y'all know those cartoons where somebody hears an idea and they get dollar signs in their eyes? That's how I honestly feel this happened. I'm not saying that she's doing that, but doesn't it feel like she was listening to her friend talk about how she wanted marriage and her ears cut off, and she started thinking about the idea of making all this money by, wait, women want this really bad and I can give them this. Who cares what happens to them? I can make a bag off of this.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, there are markets for these things, like all these wife schools or get the bag or whatever. I don't know. People, there are markets for it. Like, people, there are audiences, and you can make some pretty good money if you get the right audience that's willing to subscribe to your Patreon and all this other stuff. So, I mean, I don't know.
Fertility and marriage are two different things. If you want to talk about fertility, talk about that, right? Like, I don't know. No, okay, when your friend asks you, you say, tune into my show at 7. oh, yeah. You've been a member for 7 months. Thank you. There's one Dusty for every 7 women, but God is going to turn that Dusty into wine, well, bread, and multiply him by 7. Won't he do it? Period. Won't he do it? Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
No, I think that's Satan multiplying Dusty. Stars above the emerald forest. Thank you for the super chat. Ebony wants to know if Black women are up for a game of Russian roulette with these marriages. That's what she said.
She said, "Who gonna perform the best to get this man?"
Afro Butterfly. This is like Mr. Let Go giving advice on all. Giving advice on hairline preservation.
Girl, these phantom follicles ain't gonna keep themselves. Afro Butterfly is on timeout for that comment.
Hurry up and eat. Ebonics to men, what Tim Scott is to the Republican.
Hell, I think that's the important caveat. I told you, I didn't. These are fairy tales. Well, I'm not going to name these women by name because, you know, I'm not going to bet the prophecy. But I encourage you, I implore you to talk to some of your non-married, never married, because I want to say this too. The never married answer to that is very different from the divorced answer to that. So a lot of the reason I can sit in this posture and be like, marriage is not for me, and I'm not pressed about getting married, and I'm okay to have my baby alone, is because I've been married. Let's be clear. You know, I had the cushion cut diamond ring. I had the Sale blue label dress. I had the 5-course thing. You know, I've done it. I had the social elevation, as arbitrary as it may be.
That is not that. That is not marriage. What you just described, is that the marriage?
You know, you don't have to try crack to see the effects and to see what it does to people. You know, the dare people who come to school and they show you the pictures and they say, look at this person's skin falling off. Look at these lesions. Look at their eyes. Look at, this is a person.
This is the second time you use drug as a reference.
Look, I know people. I was in the dare program. Not everybody completed it, but they show you exactly what happens to people. They show you their before picture and their 6 months later and their 12 months later, and they slowly decline and their eyes get bigger and they lose their hair and they have more and more skin lesions. You don't have to be in something to know what it looks like or to look at something and say that looks bad and that's not for me. And I don't like, it really irritates me when people are like, you've never been married. So I've been married, so I can say it's not for me, but the people who have never been married can't say that because they're not in it yet. Well, I can see what you're in. Why would I want to be in what you're in and then make a decision? That doesn't make sense to me. That sounds dumb. Why would you encourage people to do that?
Yeah, agreed. Read that.
Ebony is getting that poor man who is convinced being married is more important than the quality of the marriage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds like what Orange Pill set up here. Thank you. Petty need help. Agreed.
Lots of help.
Well, being someone's wife and having someone else's last name, right? So who am I to sit in a posture of judgment if a fellow Black woman tells me, well, bitch, easy for you to say because you had it. I never had it, and I want it. And then it's up to me whether or not I decide to stay in it. I'm dealing with a very close friend right now who's having who's got 2 therapists. You know, she's in couples counseling with her husband. She's in single therapy with herself. She's trying to figure out if this marriage is still for her. So Raquel, don't mishear me. I'm extremely aware of the complications of overall mental health within a marriage, for sure. But that's not what I'm being asked to speak to.
That's what I want you to speak to then. So, because you're speaking, that's what I want you to speak to, because you've been speaking about everything else. Do you feel as though the thought process of you're going to get to this process of being married, and I'm not going to talk about any other aspect of what contributes to a healthy marriage? What do you think that will do to the mental health? Just thinking about, I need to make it to this date, and I don't have to process compatibility.
Hafiz suits are lasting longer than these marriages.
Who is Hafiz?
Huh?
Who is Hafiz?
He's this wonderful entrepreneur who created this suit business where the top 1% of men come together and they get into a community of other men who are like super successful, and they learn from each other and they contribute to each other. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Suit business? I guess.
He's a 1%er now, so he doesn't do YouTube anymore, but yeah. Divine Diva said that's the new version of is it better to love or never love at all? Would you rather have a dust storm or no dust at all? I like being dust free. Where's the Hafiz commercial theme? Hafiz left YouTube. Tyler Perry, Brazilian curly man weaves will put black men back in the home, light bill in hand. Period.
Went to college. I got my BA. I didn't get a high degree because I was following this man around and I had to make sure I was graduated, right? So I followed him around. We got married.
Yep.
What is the mental health and well-being of that marriage in your perception?
I believe that is why we are adults and we make choices, Raquel. I'll give you an example. I do hear the subtext, right? So let's go to law school.
So you don't care about the mental health. You don't care about the marriage because they're adult and they make choices, but you are telling them what choice they need to make to get married in uni. Like, how does that make sense? How do you think you get to cop out by saying they're adults, they make choices? Well, they're making a choice to get their education, and you're telling them not to make that choice, but to make another choice. You don't get to say they're adults, they make choices when you're trying to change the choice that they're making. That's not okay. Like, you need to lean into the fact that you're wrong. You don't get to escape liability and accountability in this way. You don't get to say, oh, they're adults, it's their choice. Yeah, it was their choice before you came in and you told them, yeah, you don't need to make that choice. You need to now try to get married. That wasn't the choice they were making.
That's almost like if someone is, I don't know, claiming they're a personal trainer or something, and they're giving people like all these unhealthy ways to get thinner, and then they're like, you know what, I'm just trying to get you to the end goal, but whatever happens after that is up to you. Like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Like, I think part of the whole thing has to be arriving to whatever the destination is, or like getting to whatever you're trying to get to in a healthy way that makes sense, not just like, oh, do this real quick and whatever happens after that, I don't know. If that's how you feel about it, I don't think you should be giving the advice. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. But we need to move on because if we don't, we only have 30 minutes, so we have to go on. So Ebony, no, thank you. It doesn't sound like you believe what you're saying. So how are we to believe what you're saying when you don't believe it? No. All right. So Real Talk with Yanni did a video. So there is this content creator on TikTok that I absolutely adored. She is a lesbian. I don't know if she's a lesbian. Don't take my... She's married to a woman. And she does these like motivational, cheeky videos. It's really funny. I did like them. And she announced that she's divorcing her wife because her wife is a scammer. And she... Wait, none of this is funny. Let's go. Wait. I don't know why I'm laughing, but like, y'all have to see this. I wanted y'all to reaction to this because I was sitting there confused. I was confusion.
regarding her public relationship. Rayshonda Elias Lockhart is a Chicago-born, Mississippi-raised, and now Kentucky-living business owner. In addition to owning her own business, she is an author, speaker, designer, and philanthropist. She served her country in the U.S. Army and then went on to attend Kentucky State University, where she earned her BA in public administration. In 2012, she rose from the ashes of homelessness to running a successful fashion house known as All Is Fair in Love and Fashion. AIF is an empowerment movement through fashion for women of all ages, colors, and sizes all across the globe. Rayshonda is also co-owner of Jumping the Broom Bridal Studio, Kentucky's only Black-owned bridal boutique. She has authored several books, including the fan favorite entitled For Someone Before Bed. Rayshonda uses her voice and platform to be an anti-bullying advocate. Not only that, her company yearly awards scholarships to teen mothers that attend the TAPP schools in Jefferson County Public Schools. She enjoys mentoring young ladies interested in entrepreneurship and design. Not only that, she was on the hit show Say Yes to the Dress.
I love it. You love it? I love that it's not a full, like, when you say ball gown, it's like solid, and I love the drama, just, you know, the wave, and I love it. I love it. I honestly think this might be it. Nah. Yes.
Rayshonda is viral right now is because she recently hopped on TikTok to announce that she was divorcing her wife, LaShondra. And this was shocking for a lot of fans.
Hey, y'all. So this video is going to be a little different. I have debated on how to say this, when to say it, do I need to say it? But I just have to. With the holidays coming up and you all are already inboxing and commenting, things are going to look a little different around here. Me and LaShondra are no longer together. I filed for divorce last week. I'm not going to explain now. I will talk about it when I feel like talking about it. I will leave the comments on as long as they are respectful. Our children are going through a lot right now. So I just wanted to get on here to let you all know what is going on. The past 30 days has been absolutely wild. Life definitely has been lifing. But I wanted you all to know that I love y'all and thank y'all for the support. This already was not a couples page, but I know that you are used to seeing her and us for the past 2 years. And we've been together 6. So I do not say this lightly. I have thought about it, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. And I just got to say it. So I love you all. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Now, this is where things got crazy for me. And
we get out.
All right. So now she comes back and she's going to tell us the full story. This is one of the dustiest stories I've ever heard, like on the internet. Like, when I say it just kept getting worse and worse, it just kept getting worse and worse. So I just, buckle in if you don't have a pop card, get it, because I'm going to pause at certain times so we can talk, but it just... She forgot that women get killed by their partners. This is disgusting that she's not even taking in mind women's safety. Oh, you're talking about Ebony. Agreed. We can't even vet the women cosplaying men either. Stop. That's not right.
this was shocking. A lot of the details in her live stream was very shocking for a lot of fans.
August 30th, I'm backing out of the driveway, me and Jayla. Jayla says, Mama, what's that on the front door? I said, I don't know. We get out, go get it off the door. It's a fucking eviction notice on my front door. August 30th. Do you hear what I said? August 30th. No, I'm not lying. I call LaShondra and I say, what the fuck is this on the door? She said, I don't know. It must be a mistake. No, we didn't buy this house. This house is rented. Okay? The house is rented by a Black couple and they follow us on social media. So how fucking embarrassing. How embarrassing. Okay? She says, I don't know. It must be a mistake. Same day, we're leaving. I got two gigs. I got 2 gigs in Atlanta that I got to go to. Labor Day weekend, right? My stomach is killing me because I can't leave for Atlanta with this fucking eviction notice on the door. We get to Atlanta. I do both of my gigs. Okay. I come back from Atlanta, September 5th. I say, have you talked to the people? What is this eviction notice about? She says, I haven't heard from them. Okay. September 5th. September 6th, I get up and get dressed and go to the rental office. I go to Remax office. Okay. I had to sit across from this man while he prints off all this stuff and tells me what's been going on for the past 11 months. Okay. Because we ain't been in the house a year. Okay. I sent LaShondra the funds on August 15th. I pay my boutique rent on the 1st. I pay my house rent on the 15th plus late fees. Okay. I sent LaShondra my money August 15th. Okay. Not only did she not go online and make the payment, she waited until August 21st to take them a check. August 24th, the check bounced. This is the third NSF charge. Okay. Third NSF.
So I'm trying to find, like, obviously there's a ton of sympathy and all of that, but how do you not know your rent isn't being paid? At some point, she talks about being homeless before, and maybe because, like, trauma response can vary from people to people, and so a person to person. And for me, I would be hyper vigilant. I believe, I don't know, about making sure that all of this is secured. And so the fact that you can go for months not knowing things aren't being paid is kind of like, I'm not saying it's kind of ridiculous, and if she's the victim, I'm not blaming her, but it is odd. And so a learning moment is, please make sure that you are not, if you're splitting the rent, make sure it's getting paid.
If they had have only took Dr. Umar's advice and had a man to manage if there was only a man to manage the funds, they wouldn't need to track their bills. We called him stupid, but he was ahead of his time.
At least the man would have paid the light bill in not Umar, but not Paris.
So the people file eviction, right? Because they sick of asking for their money. So this is me, September 6th, sitting across from this man in the rental office telling me this, okay? I'm in tears. Why? Because y'all already know my story. I've already been homeless. How am I homeless with money in the bank? So I asked the man, I say, what do you need me to do right now, sir? He said, I need you to pay September rent. I go to the bank. I get $2,700 out the bank. Okay, $2,700 that I just earned in Atlanta. Okay, I take it to them. I take it to the rental office. He says, I'm not sure if they're gonna let you stay. Okay, listen, this is September 6th. Okay, that I had to pay $2,000 rent and 2 court costs, because this was not the first time that they had filed eviction on us. This was not the first time. This is the first time I caught it, but this wasn't the first time. April or May, there was another.
That's how can someone file an eviction on you? How can you not pay for such a long time that you're getting eviction notice? You get people filed twice, and you just don't know. Like, obviously not her fault. Please remember to like the video. Not her fault. If it's not her fault, if what she's saying is completely true, then okay. But how do you not know? It feels like you didn't engage at all in your own sort of home and making sure that you're paying and that you have receipts about you. Like, I just think if I were ever homeless and then I got back on my feet, I would be vigilant about making sure I have a home. I don't know, but
I've heard this story multiple times before. I heard about a man was in the army. His wife was a stay-at-home mom who did business on the side. She found out years down the line that he makes like an extreme amount more than what she thought. They just never discussed it or anything like that. In similar stories. And then I have to wonder, with this story in particular, what's the plan? Like, you're getting home and you're snatching the eviction notices before your wife and children know, and I don't understand what happens at the, like, eventually police are going to come or someone's going to come to evict you, right? Like, what is your plan? And my mind moves to, like, I think people kick this can down the road and have no plan, and then they end up getting like really, really violent towards their partner, in my mind, because they don't see a way out or something like that. And I'm thinking about a case in particular, not with a spouse, but there was a I think a Asian boy maybe, and he finished high school, told his parents he was going to college. He went for a little while, ended up stopped going to classes and just going to play video games or something, dropping out and just playing video games for the next 4 years. And then at the end of that 4 years, he was so stressed out about telling his parents and like lying to them every day and going to the library every day for like 4 to 6 hours so they would think he was at school. And then they were asking, where's his degree? When are you going to graduate? What class are you going to graduate? And he ended up unaliving everybody. So like, I'm always wondering what's the end. I can never see another end than that.
Yeah, okay, it is going to catch up to you. Like, how do you not pay the rent and not? You hid one eviction from her, and you still didn't pay. So, were you planning to hide 2 eviction? And then, what happens when the police shows up? What happens when you are forcibly removed? Like, what happens then?
It's just like the time I applied for those apartments and they were like, your credit's okay, right? And I was like, yeah. And they ran it. They said, what's this? I said, I didn't think y'all was going to see that. But they saw it.
Until further notice, this is they're now my TikTok, Krishan and Blueface. The internet is traumatizing me, girl. I went down a Blueface and Krishan rabbit hole, and it got too dusty for me.
In itself, right? So I say to him, I say, sir, could you please include me? Please include me since I've been left out. Because as you all know, LaShonda's a property manager, right? So the last 3 houses we've been in, she has found those houses. I let her pay. I send her my half. She's supposed to pay the bills. Okay? Listen to me. The man texts me at 9:30 p.m. on.
All right. Are we too harsh? Because she is married to this person. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that you just... I couldn't do this. So this don't make no sense to me. But like, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you just give that person your money. Like, and think that they're going to pay it. Like, it's not, like, I couldn't do it, but like, that's how I am wired. I'm going to need receipts. I'm going to need, like, I'm going to know you paid or didn't pay. Like, I'm going to know. So like, I just don't understand this kind of like release of responsibility and not knowing for like 11 months that rent wasn't being paid. I don't understand it. But I'm going to give grace insofar as if you marry someone, you probably should be able to trust that person.
Especially
right?
if, don't we talk about, or haven't we talked about before, the idea that you and your partner might excel in different places. And she's saying that her partner works in rentals or in leasing or apartment management or something like that, right? So it's not, to me, it's not far-fetched to be like, okay, you're the expert in this, so I'm just going to give to you and let you handle. Like, I think I would do something like that. Maybe not with apartment leasing or house leasing or buying, but maybe like something else. So, I mean, I think it's understandable.
Wednesday, September 6th, and said, unfortunately, the $2,700 that you just gave us, the owners still want to move forward with eviction. Unless you all are out the house by September 30th, it's going on your credit report. Okay? Speaking of credit report, on the way to Atlanta, as you all seen in my videos, on the way to Atlanta, she tells me, oh, by the way, I have defaulted on the loan that you co-signed on in 2021. Okay? I said, excuse me, you mean the loan that you gaslit me into signing for? Because I don't co-sign for bitches. I don't co-sign for nobody, my children either. I said, so when the last time you made a payment on the loan, LaShondra? She said May, June. It's fucking September. Okay? Now you're fucking with my credit. Okay? Now you're fucking with my credit. Y'all wanted to know so bad, so that's why we all here, right? Okay? So here we go. Me sitting outside my boutique crying.
All right. If I co-sign, one, I'm not doing it. Two, if I do, every time there's a payment, I'm checking. Every time there should be, like, if I am co-signing, this is how bad it would be. And this is why no one would probably ask me. If I'm co-signing for a loan, I'm going to know the payment plan and I'm going to be checking in every time there should be something paid. I'm going to need the receipts. So like, I'm not just going to co-sign something, put my name and credit on the line, and then hope that you do right by me. The fact that you need me to co-sign is already a problem. I don't trust that you know how to manage money if I have to co-sign for you. Like, I literally don't. So I'm already good. I don't know. I don't know. This is advice, guys. Like, check. That's it. Just check. That's the advice. Check. Don't co-sign, and also check if you do.
At 9:30 at night, because this man has told us that we have to move. Okay? And then he says, oh, by the way, the sewer and water bill is more than 90 days past due. That balance will have to be paid also. This is in a group chat that I've never been in before. So I say, OMG. Do you know what LaShondra put in that group chat, y'all? She simply said, what's past due? ? You heard what the fuck he said. Why would you put that in the doggone group? You heard what he said. He said, we got to move out and the water and sewer bill is more than 90 days past due. So I shut down, right? I'm not talking. I ain't talked to her for 2 days. I still ain't talked to her. So Friday, because y'all need to write these dates down. Friday, September 8th, I'm packing to leave for New York Fashion Week because I get paid to do what the fuck I do. Okay, so I'm going. So I'm packing for New York Fashion Week and she is talking about, I don't want to go another day with you mad at me and we're not talking. I said, LaShondra, my mama gambled away my money and I ended up homeless, okay? Living in Louisville, Kentucky. And I didn't speak to my mama for over a year. You want me to speak to you after 48 hours, less than 48 hours of finding out that we been evicted?
It sounded like she went out and found someone like her mom, which is odd. Finji said, does D and dark skin, please tell what this lady getting. It's definitely not the children. So I don't know what she's getting, but this doesn't make sense to me. It feels so I don't want to say this, but I'm going to because it's how I feel. It feels like she's very irresponsible. That's what I get. It feels very irresponsible. Like, even though she said, I don't sign for women or I don't co-sign for people, you still did. You said I was homeless, so I pay my part of the bill, but you didn't check if the bill was getting paid. So it's like, obviously, I still sympathize. Bad people take advantage of good people. I don't know who is bad or who is good. I'm just taking what she says as true. But there is a level of responsibility that you need to take. This, by the way, is why I'm not opposed to trad wife and all of that. But I am I think it's imperative that people are self-sufficient and people know how to take care of themselves and what is happening and how they're living. Like the small financial investment around rent or mortgage, light, transportation, food, like how those the monies are operating. Because it doesn't make sense to hear someone say, oh, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that, like, it's your life. How come you don't know? Like, you need to be actively involved. Like, I don't mind soft life because live your soft life. But in living your soft life, please understand where money is going. Always understand where money is going. Avoiding bills, male finance is a trauma response. Agreed. I know someone who just doesn't even like to think about paying anything.
Are you dumb? I'm not talking to you. So she then, when I said, LaShondra, I don't want to talk to you because I'm going to say something that I may regret. Don't you know that LaShondra then leapt her ass over into my face, nose to nose, talking about you gonna talk to me in my face. You gonna get bucked at me because I'm mad at you? Do you want to die? Okay? Do you want to die? She's like, I'm gonna leave before you. I'm gonna leave because you're talking out of anger. I said, no, I'm not talking out of anger. I will put my hands on you. Okay? So that was September 8th. That's the last time that I've seen LaShondra face to face because not only have you triggered me by now making me homeless again. Now you're jumping in my face like my ex-husband. Now I'm gonna have to put you in the ground. Do you understand what I'm saying? So here we are. I leave, I go to New York, I enjoy New York. I'm on my way back. From the airport. And her mom calls, trying to figure out what's going on. But the one thing that her mom said to me that shut my whole spirit down, she said to me, Rashonda, everybody lies.
You have two options. Get blocked or be spoken to poorly. I don't speak to people's mothers poorly, so I'm going to block you. There is no more conversation. What do you mean everyone lies? So you're the reason she's like this. Got it. Blocked. Suit. Well, y'all are married, so that's going to be a complicated suit, but go off.
They watch Dr. Umar. That's what that is.
If we can't auto pay, then we're not purchasing. Period. This is why they test to let the man lead advice. Well, this is a woman. These are two women. Oh my God, I hate you for this. I know what you're saying now. Yeah, I play it too much.
So you said that she's being irresponsible because she should be checking her bank statement. But if she's never started from normalcy, how will she know what normalcy is?
I think, well, I don't know if it's about normalcy necessarily, but I think you have a responsibility to make sure that the way you're living your life and what goes in and out of your life, you're monitoring it to the best of your ability, right? And I think paying your rent rather, is something that is huge.
But how do you fathom it if you can't? Didn't you say, like, when you came from Jamaica, the idea of people dating multiple people at once or something like that was like an unfathomable concept, but it just happens all the time in America. So how do you fathom something that you have not yet fathomed?
No, I agree with you, except she has been through this experience with her own mother.
But that's all she knows.
Yeah, so you should know what to look out for. You know people take your money, don't pay the rent, and you can be evicted and homeless because you've been through it already. Now, it could be a trauma response where you don't want to deal with the bills. I actually agree. I'm glad someone made that comment. But knowing you don't want to be evicted or homeless again should activate something in you. Now, I'm saying should, knowing that people respond to trauma very differently. So she could really be relying on her wife to be the one who pays the bill. But even that, like, it just feels like I shouldn't be given so much credit to her, but I will because I don't know the circumstance. But it's like you have to take control of your life, and this is why even the idea, like, oh, you have a man lead you, thank you, 2 L's, and all of this lead foolishness, you're gonna have to stand up. And this is one of the problems that I don't like when someone was like, oh, the reason I want to be submissive is I don't want to worry about this and I don't want to worry about that and I don't want to think about money and I don't want to think about this. You're going to have to do it. Like, what do you mean? You are going to do it. Like, even if you don't want to do it, you should do it. And if you don't do it, you're setting yourself up for failure. It is what it is.
She says everybody lies. See, the first time I left LaShondra was December of 2021. I went and stayed in a hotel for a few days because she lied about the dining room table. She told me that her mama gifted us the dining room table in January of 2021. December 2021, I get a knock at my door from Rent-A-Center to repo a fucking table. Now, I'm all over the internet. I could buy 14 fucking tables. But you rented a table and lied about a damn table. Why? Who does that? Insanity. Okay? Insanity. I said, when I came back, LaShondra, if you lie to me again, I'm leaving. Okay? That was 2021. Now, here we are back in 2023.
All right. So I could have given grace up until this point. I gave as much grace as I can, but we're at the point where the person you decided to marry told you that her mom gave her a table and as a gift, and y'all have a table that got repossessed.
What would you do? I feel like I would stay. Why did you lie? Oh, you make so much money and I don't. And I was just so embarrassed. But moving forward, I feel like I would give that one.
Ain't no way, it's done. If you got a table in my house repossessed, we're done. We're done. And there's nothing to talk about.
It depends on how expensive the table is too.
If I decide to stay with you, I'm signing up to be lied to. If you out of nowhere, like, I didn't ask you for a table, you didn't tell me you were renting a table, you brought a table in, and you volunteered to me a lie that it was a gift from your mom. I'm sure she called the mom and said, hey, stepmom, hey, mom-in-law, whatever they call them, I don't care. Hey, thank you for the table. Did the mom also lie about this table? Did you not say thank you to the mom for the table? How did you, was there no conversation? Did you just get a table from the mom and you just decided not to say thank you? You should have said thank you. So either the mom also lied or the mom told you the truth and you just ignored it. I don't know what happened, but the mom sounded like she would be with her daughter regardless. So that just sounds ghetto. If my table got repossessed, we are done. It's too ghetto. At that point, it's ghetto. Like I can't do it.
When you put it that way, when you break down the process, when you say the table got repossessed, it doesn't sound that bad. But when you say, so you lied about the table, your mom's in on the lie. You didn't have to lie. You could have just said you rented the table, and then the table got. When you break down the process, I don't think I can forgive it anymore.
Yeah, like I don't know. Bought 50-50 to the table just to have it. I hate this. I hate this so much, but period. Thank you, Stars Above the MO Forest. Should mean nothing. At my big age, I still have to do breathing exercise to open my banking app or get someone else to do it, and I have money, right?
So she lied about a gift and she didn't think to look into their finances. I'm trying to figure out what does her partner
it still gets worse. Let's speed it up. Let's read this and then speed it up.
What are you bringing to the table? Rent a center, it's my table.
Someone said she got that same black man.
Her stud couldn't even bring a table to the table. Ooh. How the dusty table you bringing to the relationship get repo? She is the table.
I'm sitting at the airport. The rental property that she applied for, because we got to move, denied us. Why? Because your fucked up credit, and now you brought my credit down. Because you just told me that you defaulted on the loan that I co-signed on. So of course it's not going to get approved. Okay?
I'm sorry. How are you in a marriage where people defaulting on loans, tables getting reput? Like, I feel like at some point it's like, all right, girl. All right, period.
Listen, I don't know where it is. So here we go. So then I call my best friend, right? I said, best friend, this is what is going on. Okay. She says to me, well, friend, let me tell you, do you know that LaShondra borrowed $1,000 from me and my wife? What? I said, when? When did she borrow $1,000 from my best friend? She said, about a month before y'all got married. She said that y'all needed money for finish paying for your dress and some other stuff. I said, my daddy bought my dress. I was going to say yes to the dress. Okay? You think they're going to let me walk out of Kleinfeld owing them? Huh? They said they thought I knew. They didn't know that I didn't know that she borrowed money from my friends. You did? You just thought it was a gift? Yeah, she told me that they gifted us $1,000. She did not say that she borrowed $1,000 from my friend. It took her a year and a half to pay them back. And they see us out here living our lives and feeling some type of way because my wife owes them money and I don't know it. Okay?
Of course they're feeling some kind of way. Y'all are flexing online and she owes, girl, the studs are manning hard. My question is, when did the table get repoed? Was it during family or at Christmas dinner? What were they having for dinner? Did they take the pot roast too? Her wife sound like the devil. Like, how you go? Oh, that would kill me, actually. If I'm dating someone and they went behind my back to my friends, not her friends, to my friends, she go to her friends. If you go behind my back to my friends and borrowed money from my friends, we gonna have a problem. We gonna have a problem.
It'd be even worse if Rent-A-Center.
Well, now.
I say it'd be even worse if Rent-A-Center has to turn the table, sideways to get through the door. All the food falls off. That would be wild.
They come in, break the table, and just throw it in the trash right in front of you.
I'm livid. Now I'm livid. I say, I'm going to lay down. I'm going to lay down. Okay? The next day, I get up, I go to the boutique. I'm talking to my friend Ashley. at the boutique. I'm telling her, bitch, I'm about to be homeless again. And all the other shit that I found out. And you know what she says to me? She says, well, friend. I said, well, friend, what? LaShondra owes me money from June.
I feel like that friend was just trying to rub it in. Because imagine your friend is like, I'm going to be homeless. My wife is out here doing all kinds of messed up stuff, borrowing money from people. I just don't know what to do. And they're like, So they owe me money.
Didn't we just watch a guy last week who was borrowing money to pay somebody and then borrowing money to pay that person and then borrowing more money and not paying anybody back?
Cesar Pina.
You remember his government name.
Period. I've been watching it because I'm very curious as to why there hasn't been criminal charges pressed against him, and including DJ Envy. Now, the problem with including DJ Envy is we need to know what DJ Envy knew or should have known at the time he was promoting Cesar Pina, or whether he benefited from the scam. And I feel like he gonna have a hard time proving after he confessed that he lost money too. I'm gonna need to know when he lost money, when he knew it was a scam, and why he didn't come out publicly to denounce it and let people know that they were being scammed. But I need some criminal charges. They're probably investigating now, but I need to see some criminal charges because that's not an order. Orange Pill is making the majority payments look good to y'all. Shout out to Orange. Period. If she was with Orange Pill, at least majority of the bills would be paid. 80% would be paid. Period.
I say, what? She said she owed me money from June. I said, for what? She says when her bishop came down, they stayed at the Airbnb upstairs above the boutique. And I haven't been paid. Okay? So then I get on the phone and I call LaShondra's bishop. And I say, hey, my friend Ashley says her and her husband hasn't been paid from the Airbnb stay when y'all came down. She said, let me send you the screenshot. She hung the phone up. She hung the phone up and sent me the screenshot. They sent LaShondra that money June 26th. Okay? June 26th. So if you sent the money June 26th, then why hasn't my friend Ashley been paid for the Airbnb stay? Where's the fucking money? Okay? Every time I talk to somebody, she owes them money. Okay? My brother has been cash apping LaShondra his rent for the past 12 months because he lives on that property. I said, what, Morris? He said, yeah, for the past year. So y'all tell me, do y'all think that LaShondra is going to go to the ATM machine or anywhere and withdraw that money, get a money order, and run it through the system? Because she can't run it through as herself because she works there. But it's the fact that you're accepting federal money through your personal cash app. LaShondra hates Jayla. I found out she talked so bad about my child that it brought tears to my eyes. Telling her that she needs to grow up. She don't need to be asking me for money. My child. Meanwhile, your mom co-signed for your car and you're 46, 47. So how can you, talk dirt bad about Jayla? Call her nasty, call her all kinds of stuff. My baby. So listen to me. When I noticed that I'm getting booked, right? Oh, you want to be there, but you don't want to work. You want to stare at me in a corner and sulk because it's not you. You want to be in secret competition with the person that you're laying next to for no reason. Ooh. But here's the thing. It had to be found out now, honey, because God ain't even take it. I'm not even where I'm going, right? I'm not even where I'm going yet.
It's still getting worse, but we've run out of time. Like Dusty, she was hitting everyone's pocket.
You've seen Boy Math. Get ready for mask finances.
Not mask finances.
Kay didn't even want to be associated with this part.
No, I wouldn't either. That was too dusty. That was time. Time is a construct, Demas. I'm time blind. We got time today. Look, no, we don't. We have to end now. We're going to the after show. But apparently it wasn't better. Bring this back on Friday, Demas. No, we definitely probably, there's a part 2 that I wanted to go over, but it's fine. This woman, literally, just went through and just, if everything is to be believed here, just kind of scammed her way through this other woman's friends. Just scam this woman, don't pay no rent, take people's money, borrow people's. That is one of the worst things too. To have people you know and your friends thinking your partner is just out here and y'all just broke, borrowing all their money when you did need it or don't want it.
I would feel stupid if I'm hanging out with my friends nonchalant and owe all them money and don't know. And I'm just like flaunting. Yeah, I'm going to New York Fashion Week this week, y'all. Girl, we're gonna go to this nice hotel. Oh man.
Oh, the
That's tough.
eviction is quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm ready. I'm running to the court to get you evicted. I'm also running on internet to tell everyone that you need to give me my money. I'm never doing that. I don't loan money I can't lose. I do not give people money I can't lose. That don't make no sense. But that's just sad. Stud traction. Stud traction. Do you have anything, Kay? You probably didn't see any of that mess, and that's good for you and your soul. Let's go into the after show. And I have questions. I need advice on one thing. All right, close your ears if you're listening to this. Just please, 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 do not. This is not going to be good. The outro music is still bad. Statistics. All right. Is it bad? This is not for me. This is for someone else. Is it bad that whenever someone was like, it's like, oh, we should go on another date, if the other person is like freaked out by going on a second date, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing wrong. Imagine you have two friends. Let's say Petty is going out on dates, and Petty likes going out on dates, but does not want to go out on second dates. Is that bad?
Oh, he's just trying to have like the experience. Yeah, that's bad. What? I mean, unless the other person is fully informed, then it's okay.
No, not fully informed. Like the Petty is paying for, don't mind paying for the date.
Yeah, that's bad if he's just trying to have like one date and not having the other person informed that this is what was going to happen. Yeah, that's bad.
What if Petty has like what they want and it's like dating? I'm like, what if Petty's like, all I want to do is date?
Just once.
Not just once, but like not like for
what?
A period. All right. Well, Petty, that's your answer.
Nothing wrong with just dating.
Nothing's wrong with
Just
dating.
want the experience.
LB came up here and talked about rotating and having a roster and not like committing and just dating. And so I think Petty is thinking, I just want to see what dip my toe in. And he's saying that people seem too anxious and everyone want to be like, oh my God, we should date. We should date. It's like, ew, no.
Wait, I thought you said they are dating.
Huh?
I thought you said they are dating.
What do you mean date?
You said they're dating, but not going out on a second date.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? Let me try this. Like the way you talk, like everything is annoying, but like I like the date, but I don't want to repeat. Is that weird?
It's okay if like someone goes on a date and doesn't want to see the person again, but is weird if you're just like, that's your intention to only go on first dates with people forever. Like, what? But if you go on one date and you don't want to date them anymore because you don't like them or you don't connect with them, that's fine. But
is the friend smashing all or majority of the dates? Smashing none of them. I think Petty just wants to like meet. I think Petty just wants like friends. Really.
Yeah.
wait, is this
Nothing
what
wrong with it.
Petty? This is what you do?
No, it's
Yeah.
not Petty. It's just someone else.
Oh, I was about to say.
There's nothing wrong with going on a date and becoming friends 17 times a year. Yeah. No one else was feeling that. Okay.
No, I was kidding. I was asking for myself. I haven't done this, but I was like, I was thinking about starting to date because I've dated myself enough. And I was like, should I date? And then I realized people are kind of annoying in your like vicinity. And I do remember when I used to date and people would get anxiously attached and it would like creep me out a little.
Heartbreaker.
Huh? No. There's no heart. No. I don't break people's heart. I don't
They break their own heart. You just okay. You just facilitate.
You want to be heartbroken. you choose to be heartbroken. No.
Are you the type that's not always going to respond to a text like, in a short amount of time?
If I don't respond to you right away, I don't like you.
Oh, okay. So then people are getting anxiously attached, like I don't want to say for no reason, but like it's not like you're evasive or elusive or whatever. Or are you?
No, I mean I'm not dating at all. I'm dating myself. So it's not
like, this is so hypothetical.
It has nothing to do with me. In my mind, I was thinking that I should do this, but like I would like to date like one person a month. Just like wait, hear me out. So that like I'm kidding. I am kidding. I feel like dating is like kind of overrated. I don't like dating.
You just want someone who you can call to like go out.
No. I want to do it because I don't like it. But I don't want to like I'm not looking for anything like at all. So I'm like, I just want to date, but like I don't want anything.
Wait a minute, not you with the Ebony K.
I think
isn't that what we just talked about? You just want the experience of dating without it actually leading.
No. I want to get numb to the feeling of every date has to be something.
Oh, you just want to have fun.
Yeah, not even fun. Like, how I'm not good at saying no, so I practice to say no. That's what I want to do. Like, I don't want to like have any expectation. So I just want to try it. But I feel bad because I feel
as long as you're upfront, I think that's okay. As long as you let people know that's what you're doing, then that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say what you could do instead of playing with people. You can change your LinkedIn to available, even if you have a job, so you can practice rejecting companies. Waste their time, because I feel like they waste my time when it's actually time for me to job search. So that's what I would do.
So my therapist, go ahead. What your therapist said? What now?
My therapist would say something like, you need to define your values and what you're looking for in a relationship before you go out and seek one.
But I don't want a relationship.
Okay, so you just want to hang out with people, like friends.
Bumble has a friends section.
That seems so desperate.
Friend, it is. I went on it. It is very desperate. It is very desperate.
You said I went
for anybody to hang out with, please. No, it's desperate. I got off of it. Yeah.
Rent a friend. I feel like anyway, it was a thought I had and I wanted to run it by good people in a safe space that won't be all over the internet.
I think there's this website called Meetup. I don't think it's for dates though. It's just like if you like hiking, like you can meet a group of people that are going hiking or whatever.
You don't
Maybe
think that feels You don't think that feels awkward?
Not more awkward than like you're my one date this month and I'm not gonna see you ever. Like what?
I was very specific. That was a very specific jab. I don't know who.
No, because Stevens just said he wants to do one date per month. Like
no, it wasn't like that. It's just like I feel like dating is an art that I don't know how to do. Like I'm the type of person who wants to be in the part of the relationship where like we already know each other and we're not trying to like I like the boring part. Like I don't like the excitement and the new relationship thing.
Like
So I want to practice.
When you find like new friends, because I'm assuming there's not friends that you already have that you want to date. But like when you get into these different like meetup is probably a good thing for you. Just do things you like to do, meet new friends, and then eventually let the friendship go somewhere else or not. Like that's what it sounds like you want to do because you don't want to get to like the whole exciting like, oh, I'm waiting for their text. Like you want to be past that whole part and just kind of get into the regular day-to-day of dating someone.
All right, I'm gonna go back to dating myself. This seems complicated. This doesn't seem like the chat and my channel and I are in a relationship, so that's fine. I think that's fine. The other night I fell asleep talking to my Discord. So we're in a whole relationship. Thankfully, I wasn't snoring.
Themis just wants to keep it casual so he doesn't have to disclose his 20K dependents over here. Do you disclose to people that you do YouTube when you're out there LinkedIn dating? When you're out there wasting people's time?
I went on one date 2-3 weeks ago. My Discord was with me on the date. They were. But I realized on that date that like it wasn't time yet. Like I have more because like when someone asks what do you do, I say I work in law. And I generally say I work in law and then try to like push it off. And I don't know why, because I don't want to lie, but I also don't want to, I don't know why I don't want to tell the truth either. And so like certain kinds of questions annoy me. So I don't quite know how to navigate certain situation. And I've been like when people ask me out, I just kind of decline politely, but I also feel bad declining because it's like, who are you? And I know that's a weird way to think about it, but it's like someone went out of their way in today's society to say, hey, I would like to go on a date with you. And I'm like, no. But like, it feels weird to like even say no. So like, I don't know, it just feels weird. So now I want to be able to say, oh, I'm in a relationship. And I do, but the relationship I'm in is with my Discord and my channel. So I think that's fine. Because I don't actually want anyone in my house. And I don't want to like I don't actually want to compromise on the TV show I'm watching. I don't know. It's fine. I think I like being single.
I think you should check out Meetup.
No.
No, it's not for dating. But it sounds like what you're looking for. It's not about dating, I don't. It's like meeting up to do things you like to do.
I have amazing friends. They're just mostly in New York.
There are professional huggers, professional cuddlers. I feel like you spend a certain amount of money on a date. Why, when you can skip that and go to the part where you're just watching season 7, episode 13, Insecure? No.
He was sending himself a text that he should see other people.
Renter, man. I hope they don't come and repo the friend because you didn't make payments. That would be wild. Demas is such a. That's not a super chat. 2 questions related to dating, and then I'm. That's my time because I will go to sleep. Bedtime. Is it if I'm on a date and someone asks what I do, since that was the line of questioning that you went down briefly? If I say I work in the medical field, not that I'm a janitor in a hospital, but that I
that
work
is a lie. Don't do it. You tried it because they're gonna think you're a doctor or a nurse.
And that's not the medical field. You can say I work in a hospital.
I do the TB test just like everybody else. I have mandatory flu shots just like everybody else. I have to do the HIPAA just in case they throw away patient info. I have to do all of the training that the nurses and the doctors do. So I feel like working in the medical field is not a lie. Am I incorrect?
It's not the medical field. You can say you work in a hospital.
Okay. I work in a hospital.
They'll say, what do you do? If you're like, I think it's misleading to say the medical field. Not the medical
question. Second question.
Go ahead.
That's what I need. I just needed why I work in a hospital is okay. I think I can compromise. What were you gonna say, Themis?
I would say I clean the floors, but go ahead.
Anyway, why would I say that? Anywho, second question. This has to relate to disclosing my YouTube content. I'm private, so my public life is completely separate. I'm a very respectable person in person, not online. So I like to separate those two. But I did tell someone I do YouTube from time to time. Not that I'm a YouTuber, just that I stream sometimes. They asked to see it, and I said I prefer to keep my YouTube and my personal life separate. Is that a problem?
No.
It's not a problem, but it's gonna come up at some point if you plan on like getting serious with it.
It won't come up. You're not gonna know nothing about my YouTube.
The thing is, they went and found it. They went and found me, and
Like,
they got
you don't
upset
find out-
because I wasn't a big YouTuber, and they feel like the only reason you should be like hiding if you have a life like that is if you're a famous person or you have a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something like that would come up at one. Like, what? Themis, you stream multiple times per week. Like, so if you're in a serious relationship with someone.
No, I mean, if I'm in a serious relationship, yes. But like, if I'm dating you and it's only for a year, like, I'm not telling you. I don't want to see a video popping up talking about me. Absolutely not. No.
A year? Oh my goodness.
Look, I'm going to be missing on Friday nights from a certain time to a certain time, and I'm going to be missing on Wednesday from a certain time. I might also be missing on Sunday. And you're not going, like, if you don't ask, I'm telling you I'm working. And if you don't ask specifically about my working, I'm not telling you.
A year is a long time. I thought you were going to say like a month.
Look, y'all say we can vet people, and I believe you. It's going to take me a while to vet. I need to vet.
This sounds like a Reddit story. I thought my husband was cheating, but he has a secret YouTube. I had a great time. Oh, it's gone.
Read it.
Medical waste management sounds better. Medical management. Got it. I had a great time, and I wish that wife and wife combo luck. Pray that luck never fall on us. This was L night for us.
If someone assumes I'm cheating, they don't know me. If someone assumes I would never cheat, I think cheating is one of the lowest form of human existence.
They don't know you have a whole YouTube that they don't know about.
That's fine. You don't know my heart. I actually think that is one of the lowest things you can do. Like, I find it to be like one of the most disgusting things you can do.
Everybody cheats.
Even if it is the subject card error. Period.
Everybody cheats sometime.
No, I think if you cheat, you're if you are willing to cheat on someone you claim to love, if you cheat, it is not just like disrespect or lie. I feel like it bleeds into every part of who you are, and I would never know how to trust you. I think you are a disgusting human being. Everyone who cheats is, in my mind, a disgusting human being. It is what it is. And if you've cheated and you've changed, good for you. But please don't tell me you've cheated. Because if you tell me you cheat, I will always have it in the back. Even as a friend, I will always have it in the back of my mind. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I would cheat on someone. I'm going to leave. If I want to cheat, I'm going to leave. If I don't want to leave, then I'm not cheating. Because I'm going to look at what I have, and then what is out there. And if I choose what is out there, then I choose what is out there. I'm not gonna. No, don't put people in that. I think that is disgusting.
I saw some tweet or something, or you know how people share stuff on social media. I saw something where like a woman said that she stopped being friends with her friend because she cheated on her man, and she was like, if you would cheat on the man you love, what are you going to do to me? Is that like the same way you feel?
Yeah, I'm doing a video on Light Skin Keisha this weekend, and she sat up there and did a video with her fiance talking about she was there with him while he was cheating on girls, and she's glad he got it out of his system because she not going. And I'm sitting there like, you ridiculous, because he gonna cheat on you. I hope this doesn't happen to her, but that's what I'm just gonna assume he gonna cheat on you. And I don't think that's something you can just turn off. Anywho, that's my opinion. But that was just a fun sort of exercise. I wanted to hear y'all's take on sort of serial dating. I don't plan on dating. I think I'm gonna wait till I'm like 35 to like date. Because as a black man, we get better with age.
Yeah, I'm 35 now. I'm feeling it. Feeling the effects.
Roxy has been a member for 12 months. Oh, it's your 1 year anniversary. Roxy, thank you. What were you talking about now?
I was just saying to leave a like on the video because it helps out the algorithm.
Please. Oh, you're a new member. Sister Soldier, welcome to the membership. Let me see what member this is.
Everything helps the homeless fund. My Airbnb's the host car battery died, and I had a portable car charger. He was like, "Yes." He did not.
Is he taking some off?
Nope.
Is he cutting some off the top? What is it? Taking some off the top? What is that? What's the phrase where you take money off?
Giving the homies top or something.
No,
I've never heard of. I don't know the exact phrase.
No, there's something about skimming the top. I don't know. That's stealing, I think. Taking off the top. I don't know, girl. You know these idioms have me in a chokehold.
Well, there was no top given or taken.
Girl, aren't you homeless?
Yeah.
Call Orange Pill.
Well,
Orange Pill says he like them homeless.
I need someone who pays more than a part. That's what I need.
What do you need? How are you, Petty? You look like you're going through it.
Which part?
How are you?
Which part specifically?
Your teeth look white, so that's good. But how are you?
I've fallen on hard times. Every super chat helps. Now that the people are back, it's divided by 3 or something. Excuse me, divided by 2, then divided by 3 because YouTube takes their half. How much is left? 0.001% is left of the super chat. So I'll put that towards a new home.
Have you watched Discovery of a Witch? Discovery of Witches or Discovery?
In what house and with who?
Orange person laughing I literally popped in and just heard my name. No, you're lying. Yeah, you're lying.
Well, he be just popping in for the past 17 months. I don't believe that. I think he's watching the whole thing.
Wait, what was that? Have you watched Discovery of Witches or something? Someone said, where's the Cash App, Themis? I will put the Cash App up when people are able to come on, because what I'm going to do with the Cash App is we're going to play a game where wait, I actually don't think I can do this legally. Well, I think I will figure it out, where we play games and give money away or whatever. But yeah.
Go ahead. Give money away. I am homeless.
That's not your identity. You're facing homelessness. You'll get through it. If we give you
I don't
money,
like social justice people. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like that. I don't like being out on this cold street and someone come and say you're not homeless, you're experiencing homelessness. What does that do for me? Nothing.
It's the difference between giving a man a fish and teaching a man to fish. I am not giving you money because I care about you and I want you to do it on your own.
I just feel weird about that. If I'm on the street begging and someone's like, if a man fishes twice a day, he doesn't fish forever. What did that do for me?
It
Now, what am I
allows you
supposed to do with that?
you need to build the heart of a lion up and go forth and like conquer, because you will appreciate it more when you work for it. It's
Okay.
why I don't give away advice for free, why you have to pay for me to talk on YouTube, because if I only came on YouTube and talk, you wouldn't appreciate the value I'm giving to you, so you have to pay for it.
Have you ever heard of Ingles?
No.
Publix?
No.
Whole Foods?
No.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I've heard of all
Anywho,
of them.
so if I go to Ingles, and I've done this before, and I go to self-checkout and start scanning stuff, and I click on call the cashier instead of paying, and I tell him, the wise man teaches the man not to fish, but to fish twice a day. They tell me to leave their store. That does nothing for me at all. I don't understand the cryptic phrases. I don't understand how to apply them.
And that's how you end up
I don't
experiencing homelessness. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I
I'm
don't
kidding.
think they're teaching the fish or to fishing.
That is so wrong. And that's why you are where you are. The lack
Mhm.
of comprehension. This is the problem with y'all. Y'all just want things for. I'm kidding. Let me stop.
I got off my butt and work. Like Kim Kardashian, my idol, said, Orange Pill, we almost called you the best provider tonight. Your competition was a scammer, so congratulations.
You were.
You almost
Hey,
beat them.
almost doesn't count.
Never knew Petty had a cleft chin. I don't know what that means, but I couldn't afford a full one. There weren't enough super chats to get the surgery, but we're building up the fund, so I appreciate it. Big ups to Petty knowing his squatters right. I like that people donate when they know I'm homeless.
Wait, do you smile again? Ah, Nothing is trying to be me. I don't have a mean bone in my body. Oh,
Think
that's the question. This is the last question for y'all, for me. Advice. How do I not be mean? My friends tell me I'm mean.
You are not mean at all.
That did not help.
No, I think maybe you can just explain or give reasoning behind what do they think that you do this mean? Let's start there.
I call him a weak A nothing A B word.
Was he being a
Say the full thing. I can't say it, but say it.
wab?
Can you say it? Do you know you don't curse, right, Petty?
No, my mom doesn't think I'm grown yet.
Y'all told me what that meant, and I will not say it.
A wab. His competitor was a part of math master.
His competitor was part of a math master. All right, well, Kay said I'm not mean, so that's that on that. No, I was told I was not soft, and Petty and I had a discussion about it. That I am not soft and kind and caring, and I'm cold and distant and mean and argumentative. And I was like, oh,
Look at you.
it has been bothering me for the last 2 weeks.
You're not mean.
Period. Thank you.
You're a really good leader too.
Oh, because I don't know where I'm. I was joking. Thank you. I appreciate
Am I a good
that.
leader?
You are actually. Y'all are both really good.
Yeah, if you said me and Petty are the same kind of leader, we have
No,
a
I'm just
problem.
saying y'all are not the same kind, but y'all are both actually like, very
Can lead y'all to that poison well they was talking about earlier.
y'all are I don't know, y'all are good leaders. Like y'all are people that can be trusted with like responsibilities, and y'all don't give a bunch of excuses. Y'all are really good.
That's
Seriously.
actually in my job description. That's like in my job description. It's like level 2 can be trusted with certain duties, certain responsibilities. So yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Can Petty be trusted with what has Petty done to exhibit this leadership?
Medical waste management engineer 2.
No, Petty like takes initiative and like, teaches us how to he teaches us how to do things that we don't know how to do. Like he's willing to spend the time to like
Yeah,
show
there was a time when IDGAB was just me. It seems like just last week.
True. I cannot shade Petty. I can't shade you. You're right. I will take that L. You are a leader. You did step up to the plate. You did. And not only did you step up to the plate, they were actually really well done shows. That is true. I will give that to you. You dragged me, but it was done well.
I did no such thing. Theme is go tell the red pillars you're not soft.
Girl, this is for the Petty Fund.
What is this great dead talk?
Huh?
I don't get it. Is it an inside joke?
What?
I'm not. What is this raise the dead talk that people are talking about?
You're speaking life into black men.
Oh.
You're speaking life into Petty and I. It's called necromancy because we're already dead. There's nothing there.
We've been working together like for more than almost a year. Almost a year coming up. And y'all have...
What do you think when someone
says I on the screen like this?
Because you're being interrogated now for speaking life into men. How dare you say your coworkers are good leaders? Question. Tell me how you think about this. Men are incapable of love. Go.
No, I don't think that's true.
All right. Petty, go. Men are incapable of love. Go.
Are we doing like IDGAB Thanksgiving together?
Yeah.
You guys know my family burnt down in that house fire last year, so I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving alone. It'd be nice to have some friendly faces around the dinner table. I think men can love.
Yeah.
What is love? What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
A feeling. Oh, yeah.
Love is music. Music is love. I think it speaks to you in your soul. And I think men can make music.
All right, period.
Gen Z love. That's what that is.
So I'm on a mission to figure out. I think I will talk about this publicly, but I'm on the mission to understand what is love.
A feeling.
It is.
You think so? I think it's a commitment, and we like. I don't.
That's the problem because people think love means a bunch of things that it doesn't. Love doesn't mean loyalty. Love doesn't mean commitment. Commitment means commitment, and loyalty means all those things. So, like, because love literally, like, is a feeling. It's something that lights up in your brain when they're looking at the scan. Like, it's something that happens, right? But it doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing all these things. So when you're talking about love and you want it to be all these other things, you have to make sure you're specific about those other things, because to different people,
it means different things.
Yeah, it's just the feeling. Like the underlying thing is it's the feeling, right? To different people, it's like, oh, honesty and kindness and commitment. And I think those things should naturally come along with love, but it's definitely a feeling. And I think that's why there's so many disconnects, because people think like, oh, we're in love, so we're on the same page about this because I think love is X, Y, Z. Why don't you? And it's like people aren't on the same page because love is the feeling. Everything else you need to talk about.
Yeah. People have been like coming to me and talking about whether or not men are capable of love, and I think it's from Prince Sala's. Well, I don't think. I know it's from Prince Sala's channel, and I've been kind of like grappling with it, like not seriously, but like just trying to figure out what love is and why it's important. Because I think, regardless of what love is, I think what people want is very different maybe than how anyone would describe love. And so wanting commitment, wanting care, wanting safety, all of those things,
Sugar
it
daddy.
doesn't matter what you call it. You like what you want, like love by a different name doesn't really matter if you get what it is that you want out of the relationship. And so love feels more like a broad umbrella for which behaviors are kind of outlined, as opposed to like just a feeling. And maybe it is definitionally just a feeling, but I think when people are describing love, they're describing behaviors
that are
and
assumed
That
yeah,
can't be, because sugar daddies exist and they can provide security, they can provide warmth, they can provide intimacy in X, Y, and Z, but love is separate from that, right? Or your father or somebody can provide that. Or a friend, or like, but that doesn't necessarily, your job can provide something like that.
So if that's the case, like, because someone can definitely be committed, loyal, honest, whatever the things you think love is, and not love you. They can just feel it's their job to do those things and they just do them. But that underlying feeling, excuse me, is not there. So like, are you okay with that? Are you okay with getting the things you want if there's no actual love? Like the person's like, I don't love you, but I mean, I'm going to do these things because, you know, this is my duty or whatever. Or do you want the person to recognize that they actually love you?
Or to clarify, do you mean love like love, or love like that weird love where my ex was like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you?
Well, that brings up a very specific question about the types of love and whether or not there are different types of love, or where is there just love, an umbrella term, where within this umbrella we have different aspects. But more important than that, who gets to define what love is?
The dictionary. That's how language. That's how language works. That's how we can communicate, when we can come to the same agreement about what something means. And this is why there are so many issues when people talk about love, because people refuse to go with the dictionary definition. They're like, you can't love me because you blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I do love you. They do love you, but they're not doing the things you see love as. The feeling, it can be there and you not get the actions that you want. I think that people have to be specific about what actions they want. It's okay to say, I love you and I'm committed to you. I love you and I vow to be kind to you or whatever. But saying just I love you doesn't necessarily encompass all the things that one might want. So you got to be like, wait, okay, you love me, but do you plan on this or do you plan on that? I think people got to be specific, because there's a lot of issues that come up with just saying love and thinking you know what your partner or whoever, you know,
I feel like that's a non-argument. I don't feel like we look to the dictionary when we're thinking about words, but we look to how we use them colloquially.
I mean, but then, like I said, I know people do that. I agree with you, but that's why so many issues come up. People will be like, but we're in love. Okay, you're in love, but are you getting what you want out of this situation? Are they getting what they want from you? Like, are you happy? Do you whatever? Like, there are so many other things that come along with that. So just saying, ooh, we're in love, I'm sure many of us can like look at a situation where someone said they were in love, but they were miserable and a lot of other stuff that they didn't like was happening. So that's that feeling that can be there, but it doesn't mean that you are getting the things that you want. You just have that feeling.
Love is the best fit line on your scatter plot. Oh.
Aw, I like that.
All right. So you say use the strict definition. Prince Betty say you can do it colloquially. And I don't know. I do know. I've been looking through like the different kinds of love and where the ideas around love being an emotion versus love being an action, love requiring empathy and compassion, and whether or not that is required in the passionate feelings towards people in the dictionary's definition of love. And I honestly, I don't think it matters. Like I was like, I'm gonna still do this work and we'll talk about it privately, but I don't, because like I don't think what we call love it matters. I think what people are trying to figure out is whether or not people can engage in the kinds of relationships you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I
So
agree with that.
yeah, that's how I'm thinking about it. But who knows? Maybe it is like if we find out what is love, then we can figure it out. No, I think it's about relationships and whether or not we are getting what we want out of them. But I think I'm going to end it there. For me, do y'all have anything else? We went way too far over.
No.
We missed and you came back until we were happy. So that's why we.
I like how you was like, I got one quick question before we go. Do you think our souls are connected?
Right.
Right.
No, I thought it was. I know it's not a simple question, but I thought it was like, oh, for me, love is this. Oh, for me, love is that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's something so that everyone is so, not everyone, but so familiar with it, you can like easily say your interpretation of it or whatever.
Yeah. If capability needed, we are told not to marry for love. Look, I feel like if you go marry for love, you need to first know what love is.
Ooh.
No, no, I'm not talking to two else. I'm just saying generally. But thank you all. I think that was it. I hope you find a home, Prince Petty. We're rooting for you. We're sending you thoughts and prayers, not super chats, but definitely thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and chairs.
We're sending you thoughts and prayers. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Good night.